Yeah. About time, about time. I'm here for that, yeah. I think this player, based on the small sample size, is going to have a king a lot. They might even have like kings full right now. I'm really over this hand. Yeah, small sample. It's an $11 tournament though, but they're just not bluffing for that sizing. Especially given some of the tendencies here. Yeah, for sure. They're trying to get tricky. Too big of a bet on the turn. I would have called a small bet. They're probably going to call more if they bet flop small right away in position. Check. They don't know that though. B Rock Tay. What did they do before? They did something before. Oh, I'm gonna limp call off here. I think they're gonna jam. I'm gonna go for check raise. Check raise call off. Oh, unlucky turn for them. Unlucky turn for them. They flop 2 pair with the deuce 7. 62 bigs for us. Love to see it. And a booty. All right, 10s. What do we got situation behind? I'm going to get cheeky PKO. Gosh, they snap full. There goes my dreams. Hoping that this player would jam. They get to re-jam like 8s. It's like a really nice situation. I like having some of these like fairly strong hands that we could 3-bet flatting in this spot. Because we're in such a sexy, sexy situation when somebody re-jams. And I guess we save some flops come out like this. Potentially check. I'm going to... Yeah, we'll check as well. Maybe bet turn. Not so much now. King makes an easy call. I will show you 1 second here, CRS, what games we are in. Uno momento, por favor. What do we got? My man Languid in the chat. That is a funny one. Looks like we're going to give it all to Sick Nasty here. On the river. So... Pew pew. Pew pew. Pasu. Oh, interesting check raise. We're going to fold that now. So our Korean phrase of the day from Languid. Let me see if I'm pronouncing this correctly. I'm guessing, obviously, big time. Popu, popu, wait, papo, paso, papo, paso. Let me see. I gotta turn this up, hang on. Popu, pasu. Popu, pasu. Nice. Thank you, buddy. We got trip 6s in the warm up. Popu, pasu. That's a appropriate one too, Languid, by the way, with 420 being yesterday. All right, so CRS, here are the games. Top row, left to right. We have this $11 15K progressive knockout. We are 60 from the money. We got 61 bigs, 88 Venom special. This is a 300K, right? Why is this thing all the way up here? 80K guaranteed. Got the 109 warm-up, 300K guaranteed. We got 31 bigs. Approaching the money, less than 100. Till we get there, we have the $11 PKO Turbo 2K we just got in. 5 bigs, king high versus button jam. I might be... Gosh, I don't know. What's up? I'm Roughneck, friend of stream. How's it going? 109 100K PKO, 35 bigs, 30 minutes left to late reg. And the 55 special 100K. We are last level of late reg. 11 minutes remain. We got 65 bigs. Decent situation. Pocket 3s on the button. Folds to us in the 88. We're going to jam. This will be our last bullet in this one. Even if it doesn't fold to us versus cut off open. We're in the streets. All right, they didn't snap. Good news. If they call, we're going to have to win a flip. What's up, Brockte? Oh my gosh, they must have been playing other games. We should get a 3 for that. If they were slow rolling us there, or a 10 on the river. All right, 3.5 bigs, king 10 suited. I'm just going to go for it. Well, I said after that bullet in 88 was going to stop. All right, if anyone's going to knock us out of this, I'm a roughneck. You were sick nasty. All right, we're going to root for the friends of stream. Thanks, Jack Poker. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for hanging. Thanks for the positive energy. Appreciate it. We'll try to make something, solidify something here. We will give it our best. That's all we got, man. That's all we got. 880, 15K, 16 minutes. Yeah, let's hop in that. Max late Reggie. An $8 15K guaranteed. That is a nice one. And this run out sucks. Maybe we win in some universe. But I just hate when I see somebody has a flush now. That's the annoying one. Check, 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 check. And your boy might win. Nope. Passo, puffo, puffo, passo. I think they just have a flush here when they do this in an $11 random tournament. Orange tag player. Ace King. Really interesting way to play Ace King. All right, overcall. This is the $8 15K. We had a pair. Short stacked. I'm going to be aggressive and jam. What's up, Tato? This is not like a thing, but I'm doing it. And we get a double. Sick. 880 PKO 4K. Yeah, I guess I'll play this too. Nice run out here. I'm going to bet big. Actually, I don't have much. I'm going to get cheeky and check. Vibes. Snap checks. Yeah, they have nothing. The vibes were they just don't have much to call. I got to hope that somebody attacks it or goes after a thin value bet. $11 tournament. Very wishful thinking, huh? But, you know, being results oriented, they couldn't call. Yeah, Ghost. They are, to my knowledge, of course I haven't been there, but they're very strict about any sort of drugs, smoking, things like that. They like to drink over there. They like to drink in Korea. But I think there's pretty much like zero tolerance. I think you like go to jail if you get found out. You know, they don't have like casinos. They're not for the locals. But yeah, I think you like go to jail, you get caught with weed or something. Any other drugs. But drink away, drink away. Turn 2 pair. Starting the betting. River sucks. I'm gonna block bet. All right, we take it down. Spend big blind. I am going to raise here. They went with a bigger sizing though. Still kind of makes me want to raise more. Where they're from? Uruguay? I'm going to, I think a raise here can apply a lot of pressure to their stack. I think players are oversee betting here. Clubs are nice. They snap called. I don't love that. I don't love that they snap called, actually. I was going to jam. No, we will put them all in. They have a 10, they're calling. Oh, if they have an ace, they're calling also. Forgot about that one. How could I? All right, good spot for us. 4 minutes from the end of late registration. Pick up a huge pot there. All right, going on a suicide mission here in this $8 tournament. We bet flop. Turn comes an ace. I'm going to jam. I think they would have jammed a lot of queen X. I'm going to try to get a jack to fold. Good luck, us. Captain, you cleared for landing. All right, good news. We win. The news is in. It's good. We win. Last level late reg. What do we got? 11 minutes. Okay. Spend big blind in this one. What do we got? 30, 40 minutes. $8 4K. Yep. Call flop. Actually, I'm going to turn my hand. I'm going to bluff. I just think people are oversee betting so many of these spots. I'm kind of short stacked. It's going to look like I'm not folding. They jammed. They got excited. I had some bluffs, man. These smaller stake players, man, they don't know about letting your opponent continue with their bluffs and just calling. I'm telling you. I'm trying to tell them. All right, we fold. I didn't need to check raise that big. I didn't look at my stack at first, I'll be honest. I don't need to check raise that big. Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? It's good to see everyone. Poker RB challenge. I have to get fake nails. You should come out here. And I won one of those.
How did you win a competition?
What do we got here? 4th place. Oh, 1 bullet. Nice us. So about 150.
So I just got moved tables. Ryan sat played our first orbit. He didn't go bust, which is fantastic.
Stop. Me amo Drew. Basically, you can see like what other high-level players are thinking, what they're supposed to do in certain spots, and then you can exploit that. Hello everybody. How's it going today? Oh, these ones reflect. I got these new blue light glasses that just came in yesterday, because you guys have heard me like a million times complaining about these nose pieces on these ones. So I tried out some new ones. So I'm on some Clark Kent study stuff today. We'll see how they work. But yeah, good to see everyone. Hope you had a good Sunday. What's going on? Today, we are going to be, yet again, utilizing GTO Wizard, and we're going to today be focusing on some ICM situations starting 2 tables down through the final table, which we did make a final table yesterday, and we definitely had some spots that I did not have enough clarity over, which is perfect because we only played 5 hands in the Venom yesterday. So I'm glad that these spots came up so that we have like a really nice focus for today. So it's good to see you. What's up, everybody watching on Twitch and YouTube? By the way, if you happen to be watching this video back or you're watching now and you do not have GTO Wizard, this is going to be the main tool that I use for this study session and future study sessions leading up to the 2024 WSOP when I head out to Vegas. So if you want to download it, exclamation point GTOW in the chat, you get a 10% discount and you will be able to utilize me during these study streams, asking questions. I'll be showing you how to use it. And today is going to be the first time we're going to be digging into some ICM situations. Okay, so yes, let me know if you have any questions. Let me give some shout outs in the chat here. What's up to AMTT? What message, my man Sui? BNW, what's up BNW? How did your warm-up finish, by the way? Jalika, hello. The Boots, what up Boots? Life Tilting, Sir Pogs a lot, Machine Savage, my man Ghost, Silky J, Cofontinas, Vonabob. How are you? How are you? Carney Prince, hey Carney. Hey Monkey Mel. Good to see you as well. Shout out to Ryan, Ghost, everybody hanging out on YouTube. Okay, now let's do this, shall we? So check it out. This is what we have. Like I said, we got the GTO Wizard pulled up and I have this set. Now, for those of you who are new to this or just getting to download it and use it, if you're taking poker very seriously, you want to have confidence over the moves that you're making. This is such an easy to use tool. And I will tell you, when I first started getting into studying sims and solver outputs, in order to improve my game, I had to manually type into the PIO solver. You have to plug in all the variables and it takes a much longer time. Then you have to wait, depending on how strong your computer runs, you have to wait for the sim to run, because depending on what type of stack depth you're at, it could take longer. If you're studying like a 200 big blind situation, it's going to take longer than if you're inputting a 20 big blind situation. So what's nice about these days and studying and trying to get some more confidence over the plays that we're making is look at this. So you just click on this box up in the top left, and then you pick cache, MTT. I have the MTT version. There are different versions of GTO Wizard. So if you're downloading and getting your 10% off today, and you're an MTT player, pick MTT, not cache, but MTT, heads up, Chippy V and ICM. So Chippy V is basically just, there's an argument to ICM comes into play. Ben CB talks about this, like mid stages of tournament, money bubble, things like that. But the most common spots that people associate and will start to adjust for ICM is final two tables and mostly final table. And what this means is that our approach kind of changes Chippy V to ICM, because ICM is like the money is right there in front of you. You could see the money jumps right in front of you. Every move you make can be calculated into a dollar value. Whereas this Chippy V is going to be like early stages of a tournament, mid stages of a tournament, when we're just calculating how many chips we can get because we're like not in the money yet. Do you see what I mean? That's a very simple way to look at it. Then you can choose classic or progressive knockout type. What we're looking at today, though, is MTT, ICM, two tables. And then on the left side here, I selected the 20 big blind range because the tournament that we ran deep in, the 33.3K, is mostly those types of scenarios. So check this out. Okay. What's up there, Limp Rays? Posted a couple hands on Discord. Okay, Limp Rays, are you going to be here for the full session? I guess I could get into that now. I see you did redeem that. So we could look at your hands before we get into this session. Or I could look at it later. Where's my redemption thingy? Quick actions. This is weird. Manage prediction. Did Twitch update or something? Why did it get rid of my... Hang on a second. Why would it get rid of my... rewards queue? That is dumb, man. That is so annoying. Okay, let me see. They changed that. Let's see. Limp Rays, you're here right now? All right, Machine Savage, we'll catch up with you later. Sounds good. Same old problem. Nice Chipley and then min cash. I got you, BNW. Okay. Let's see. So what do we do with our PIO Solver subscription? Didn't use it since it was so confusing. Yeah, life tilting. Well, if you paid for the year, you know, or whatever you paid for, then it's just a sunken cost. Okay, limp raise. I'll go ahead and look over your ACR hand now. Let me check, okay? I'll mark that as complete. Let's pull up Discord, and then we will get into our study here of this final 2 tables. All right, let's see where you posted. Where did you post, Johnny Walker? Where did you post your hand, buddy? In Discord. It should be in the poker hand section. Yeah, where did you post it, Johnny Walker? I need you to post it in the poker hand section. Yeah, I don't see it. Limp raise. Under poker hands up a bit. Oh, okay, let me see here. Under poker hands up a bit. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, let me see. Wizard is legit. It is very legit. Okay, I'll try to limp raise. I'll try to rip through a couple. Oh wait, I saw this limp raise. You're Kevin Chicago. I think we saw at least one of yours. So which one? Do you want me to look at this one, or do you want me to look at the most recent one? Let me know, because I could pull up one now, but then we're gonna get into our session. Limp raise, since you used the redemption. So tell me which one real quick. I'll look it over, and then we're gonna hop into these hands. Because I see you posted 1, 2, 3. Here, I'm gonna actually do this last one. This one seems like the most important, most recent. Okay, yep, same page. All right, so let's see here, Kevin. We got an open, you're on the button from early position, re-raise, a 4-bet from here. This is very strong from this player, because if you look at it, it's first to act open. You're on the button 3-betting first to act, and then small blind out of position is 4-betting. So they're going to have a fairly condensed range. It's going to be some pretty strong hands. I'm not sure how many bluffs they're going to have here. But definitely the play is call and go from there. So do indeed call. And yeah, this is really, really tough. And you know what? Because they 4-bet, they get to use this small sizing. This is going to be like the theoretical, and a lot of 4-bet situations is going to be a quarter pot or less. So you can expect this, and it's very tempting to call. But what are you going to do on future streets, right? It's going to be very, very tough to navigate this. And what's going to happen a lot of the time is they're just going to end up betting turn 3/4. And their bluffs are like ace jack, ace 5 suited, which are ahead of you, and they're going to be just betting range on this board. It's like best case scenario for you is that they have jacks and they're continuing. They are going to have some checks, I would imagine, on this board, low frequency, maybe some king queen suited. That in cash games we don't do much flatting in the small blind, whereas in tournaments we can do a lot more flatting in the small blind. So they're going to be just like mostly 4-betting here, anything that they want to continue. So they could have jacks here. They could have some king queen suited, and then they're going to have a bunch of the ace x suited. Maybe they have some jack 10 suited, which you are ahead of there. But I don't know anything about these players and too much about the cash game field. So I'd probably lean towards kind of approaching players fairly straightforward in these situations. And it'll be tempting to just call here, but this really isn't the board that we're looking for, because it's just going to be very, very difficult to continue in a lot of turn situations. So let's see what happens. Fold. Okay, nice. Yeah, I dig it. I think that's probably going to be the best play for you there. Oh, honey, what does this say? Languid with our Korean word of the day. Hannah's here. Kongbushigan. Kongbushigan? Languid, look at this. I'm cheating today, man. Kongbushigan. Study time. Oh, that's cool. All right. A lot of good players. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and... So, Kevin, nice job on that one. That's my thoughts. I hope it's helpful. We can get into some more hands later, but I definitely want to get into the study. So here we go. This is final 2 tables of a $33 3K guaranteed. Would jamming be out of the question? Worse, you're just getting jacks to fold, and then you're flipping versus ace king for a lot of blinds, limp raise. Me personally, I'm not really going to have a 5-bet range at all. right? Versus the 4-bet in any cash game situations. I'm just not going to have a 5-bet range. Like, how do you balance that? What does your 5-bet range look like when you just put it all in? Do you see what I'm saying? It almost feels like a too complicated part of a strategy where you can just hope that they still have bluffs there, call, and then go from there. Do you see what I'm saying? Versus having a 5-bet with queens. What's your 5-bets there? Queens, ace, king, aces, and kings, right? Like, it's just not going to be something I feel like we need to have a 5-bet range. I would just flat go from there. You know what I'm saying? And maybe if it's like a super nitty player, again, their range is going to be very condensed there. And, you know, we are hoping that they have jacks. You might even just be able to fold that spot and sometimes against the right players with information. Otherwise, it's just like flat and go from there. What's up, One Mark? How are you? Good to see you, buddy. I did not bag the Venom yesterday. I didn't even play 5 hands in the Venom yesterday, sadly. Okay, so here we go. We just combined to the final 2 tables here at this point, and I don't really remember what happened. I just remember once we got down to the final 12 players or so situation, the average stack depth was like 15 or less blinds kind of at our table, and it was a very dicey situation. So that's what we're going to be focusing on here. We raise the ace jack suited. We flop an ace, and this is a situation where I think we could just bet 1 blind a lot of the time, and it's going to be fine. We do have some checks here. I kind of like the idea of checking back an ace here to protect our other checkbacks that we might have in the situation. I don't think that this is going to be a situation where we just want to 100% c-bet. If we do 100% c-bet, I like a smaller sizing, especially versus a 12 big blind stack. We don't need to bet big to apply pressure to them. I did decide to check here, and I'm going for the super trap, the double check, bet river, and they fold. Now, since we're here, let's go ahead and just see what type of output we can get from here. If there's anything to learn, let's see if my line I took here, the old double check bet, if there's any merit to it. All right, let's go to the wizard. Honey, 2 minutes. All right, so let's study this spy here. Okay, so let's start from the flop came. Okay, let's see, big blind called. And then now it is on the big blind. The big blind does not lead here. They did check. And then now my strategy, ace jack suited, just wants to bet. And as you can see here, it wants to bet 1.1 blinds. Very, very heavy. It's either check here or bet. Very small on this flop, just because the board is just so dry, so locked up. We're just going to be way ahead. And that's why I actually like betting this flop a lot for 1 blind, especially versus these stacks, just like with anything. Any bluffs you want, you just don't need to bet big here. And we see that supported in the output here. It looks like, so we could check aces. So here's our checks on this flop. Aces, kings, queens. And then we're mixing jacks, 10s, 9s, some of those hands here. Ace 8, another nutted hand, wants to check. And you can see we do have some checks so that we can protect our kings and queens when we check these hands back on this flop. We're not just telegraphing that, hey, I don't have an ace here when I check, because we do have some aces that we're checking. But it looks like the ace jack suited is one of the hands we want to majority bet here, especially with the ace jack of hearts. It doesn't mind us checking back the ace jack of diamonds and ace jack of clubs, because there is a club and a diamond here, so we have some backdoor outs. All right, but let me see here. We did go with the check. The turn was a 6 of clubs. Let me see. Turn was 6 of clubs. Now I'm mostly curious now. You can see these 8s where the purple is. This is some big betting from our opponent out of position. And a lot of the big betting is just coming from their 8x, targeting our kings and queens that are going to be calling bets on the turns, and our ace x that check back flop. So if you're the out of position player and you are facing a check on this flop and you're this player, then you're going to want to bet big if you happen to have an 8, because your opponent in my seat is going to have a lot of hands that are going to want to call. So don't try to just get like small bet beggy. Go big. Go big. In this instance, though, the big blind checked. And then now at this point, we should be betting our ace jack suited. I clearly got really, really trappy, and it is just not really a thing. We should be betting this. So we have other hands that seem to be much more suited for checking. And upon looking at it, it looks like our aces that could have some kicker problems don't mind pot controlling a bit. But when we have our stronger aces, like I have in this situation, we should be targeting the weaker aces that they could have in their range and definitely start betting turn. It's not likely, I think, we're going to get 2 streets from this opponent, but yeah, we just got over checky here and very exploitative in that spot. So let's see here. Now on the river, it is a 7 of spades. And of course, big blind checks again. And now, as played, you can see the big blind should just be betting out of position here if they happen to have an ace. That's where a lot of their bets are coming from. And then some bluffs here with their hands that don't have any showdown. Big blind checks, though. And of course, we already know I should have bet my hand twice. And they don't even have ace jack suited here on the river, because I haven't bet it, but of course we have to bet again. So really the biggest thing that we wanted to see in this situation is flop sizing, which is like 1 blind, and it's going to be 1 blind a lot of the time on these type of boards. But yeah, I would actually just consider this a super exploit in real time for me, but theoretically a blunder by me to play as I did. My man Suey says, I've been seeing a lot of folds from delayed c-bets lately, so I think flop would be player dependent when deciding to bet check back. Yes, if we have information on our opponent and we know how to exploit their tendencies, then 100% we got to do it. We got to always be paying attention and looking for that. All right, so we raise the king jack here. We get jammed on. Easy fold. So this one's interesting. What do you guys think of this? Let's poll the chat on this one. Your final 2 tables, 33 3K. And this tournament, if I remember correctly, only 12 were paid. So we're actually not even in the money yet. So consider that situation. We are close at this point. If we are sitting 7, 8, so we're like 14, 15 players left. A 9 big blind stack jams. Now check this out. This is something important. We're kind of close to the money bubble, right? So our strategy going from chip EV, which is just how many chips we'll make, versus ICM, which is like we can start to see how much money our plays can make. Are you making this call or not? And I will say blind versus blind, somebody jams 9 blinds for you. You have an ace. In regular chip EV, this is just like an easy call. Here you go. Let's run it out. But it could change because ICM is typically going to tighten us up a bit. Good vibes, Ginger. Good to see you, of course. All right, so what do you think? Fold or call here? I'm going to pull the info, tug it into, plug it in, tug it in to the old lizard. Okay, so I see a fold, a call. Let's dig in. Let's dig in. Okay, what's up there, Julie? Julie says fold. Tobias says fold. Okay, let me show you. So the lizard says 100% call. This is an easy chip EV call. And it looks like in this situation here as well. Now let's see what hands we should be calling here versus a 9 big blind jam from the small blind. This is 100%. This is super easy chip EV call. even though it is the ace 4 and it is a notable amount of our stack. 9 blinds, we have 15. But we will still have some chips. So check this out. This is what we should be calling here in this situation. Versus the small blind, 9 big blind jam. We got 16 bigs. Our big blind's out there, 15 behind. We should be calling all of our aces. Look at this. All of our kings, all of our suited queens, and then we have all of our pairs. We should be calling all of our pairs. So if you are trying to learn, I think the best thing to do here, and it's always been great for me, is try to build a visual in your head. Try to compartmentalize this situation. So what I might do here is, let's just kind of make it easy. It folds to the small blind, a 10 big blind stack jams. What should we be calling with in the big blind? And it's going to be any ace, any king. Starting point. That's easy to remember, right? Any ace, any king, any pair. So here, for those of you who are not familiar with looking at these charts, this diagonal from top left to bottom right is all of our pairs. And then on the right side of our pairs are all of our suited combinations of hands. And then to the left of it is all of our unsuited combination of hands. So we would want to call all of our pairs here, all of our offsuit aces, all of our offsuit kings, all of our suited aces and suited kings. And then now also the suited queens. And then of course you could see some other queen 7 off, jack 8 off, some of these hands, which are pretty fringy, meaning obviously they're right on the cusp. Like, I don't think any of us are going to lose sleep at night folding the queen 7 off here or the jack 8 off. But what we need to do, it's not a bounty, Julie. Yes, this is just, we're doing chippy V on these 9 big blinds. Actually, this is chippy V right now. I don't know if ICM is going to do this. I'll have to check, but I now see in the top left, it has changed it to chippy V. So this is just your starting point. We're gonna be looking at ICM here. I'm gonna try to adjust it in a second. But another way we can understand us calling here, this means that if we're calling all of this, this means that 47% of hands that our opponent in the small blind, we're assuming they are jamming a lot of hands. So here is our opponent's strategy, what they should be jamming in the small blind here for 9 bigs. So now this data right here is what is giving us our data and making us call all those aces, all those kings, all the suited queens, all the pairs. It's based off of this information. All right, so the small blind here should be all in with over half of the hands that they have. All right, and that includes all of their aces, all of their kings, queens, a handful of their suited jacks, 10s, 9s, the majority of, well, actually all of their offsuit kings, all of their offsuit aces, the majority of their offsuit queens. So you could see if somebody from the small blind is jamming this aggressively over half the deck, then you have to call all of your aces, all of your kings, all of your suited queens, all of your pairs. Speaking kind of generally, right? What's up, James Matthew? How's it going? What's up, Z Wildcat? That's a snap even with ICM. Okay, let's see it then here. Hope you're having a good day. Shout out to all the lurkers. Right, but what about for ICM? That's close to the money. I'm a fold for more than half my stack. Okay, let me see here. Let's plug this in. And then let's see how low we can go with ICM. Okay, so look, ICM is only taking us down to 20 blinds. So we can't see ICM and GTO Wizard less than... Actually, no, we can here. Final 2 tables, ICM, 10 bigs. Let's see, small blind. Let's see if we can find a better one here. Small blind, big blind. About half our stack. Let's take a look at this one here, actually. See this one? This is going to have small blind at 7 blinds and us at 9 blinds. This is going to get us close to get a feel. So I'm going to pick this one. Small blind goes all in for 7. And then now this is an ICM situation. This gets pretty close to our actual situation here. We do have some more chips. But now we're looking at, if you look in the top left, 15 blinds, ICM final 2 tables. Small blind all in for 7, and we slightly cover them. And as you can see, Tobias is correct, saying, actually not Tobias, who was it? Tobias said that they were going to fold. Somebody said, oh, okay, Z Wildcat said that's a snap even with ICM. And Wildcat is correct. You could see that actually, if anything, ICM, the Queen 6 off wasn't in Chippy V. We were talking about the Queen 7 off, and we did lose kind of a weird adjustment. It's the same thing pretty much. This is not even worth, like, we had a good amount of our Queen, all of our Queen X suited, and then we were Queen 7 off here, Jack 8, 9, 10. So honestly, it's pretty much the same thing, 47%, just slightly distributed differently. So Wildcat is correct. So this situation, ICM or not, we're getting it in. Widen small blind range. Let's see. So let's go to small blind range. And yes, correct. So Wildcat is correct. And that is outweighing the ICM value. So you could see before when it was just Chippy V, not considering any financial situations, ICM, it had them jamming 52 or 57%. And now in an ICM situation, when you know you can apply pressure to your opponent, here's the big takeaway, because now we see 64%, right? So when our opponent has pressure on them, ICM pressure, final 2 table pressure, money bubble pressure, the small blind can jam wider here because our opponents should, and in practice will, the majority of people are not going to be finding the half a deck calls like we are seeing here. So you can jam wider in ICM situations because I promise you, you will get more folds. People are not finding the Jack high calls. People are not finding the Queen X suited calls, especially if we're like 3 from the money. So that's a great point, Wildcat. That's super, super important to realize for us, is if we identify this is a situation where people are going to be folding more, we could be more aggressive and jam more. And think about this, how awesome it is for us if we're in the small blind here and we know that, oh man, I can jam here and they're going to have an incredibly hard time calling. And then I'm going to pick up 2 blinds here, and it's going to really help me survive this bubble, or really help me to maintain my stack in this final table bubble type of situation. So that's a great point. I love it. Okay, so let's see. Did I call? Yes, I did call. For sure. So I think on the stream yesterday, my real-time thoughts were this. It's like, I don't think I tagged this one, but I know in Chippy V, this is just a call. I wasn't exactly sure if I should be adjusting my calling range here per se, but I was in the mindset of, I'm going to win this tournament. This is a Chippy V call. I'm not folding here, right? So my thought process didn't go too deep. And then they had the ace-5 suited, and we ended up banking a 4. We're going to chop this like the majority of the time. We got lucky here and hit a 4. Okay. So let's continue. Oh, look at this. So I'll show you this. This is just a situation. This is not going to be anything you're going to see in the Lizard. But this is a spot where I decided to open the 7-3 offsuit because this player in the big blind was not getting out of line. But again, we are on the money bubble, like 2 spots from the money bubble. And this player threw a 170 hand sample in the big blind. They were only defending 30% of the time. Now, if you understand how to look at your HUD stats and whatnot, you could really utilize these and find some spots to exploit your opponents. And I do on my website, betondrew.com. If you click the YouTube button at the top, I do talk about these HUD stats. I have 3 or 4 videos on player types and the HUD that can help you better understand these. But look at this. This is a statistic from the big blind opponent. Big blind, call any pre-flop raise in the big blind right here. 29%, 7 of 24 times they called. So if I see something like this, then I know, okay, they're on a short stack. We are in a high pressure situation. And another thing I like about this open is I can't just be 3-bet for whatever reason, because if this player 3-bets or this player 3-bets, they're now committing to this stack. So I have a very cool situation where I have protection from the short stack who is also going to overfold. So my hand here for me doesn't really matter too much. I'm just looking to exploit this stack size dynamic that we have going in a higher pressure situation. So I thought this was fun, and you know, maybe some things for you guys to think about in these situations too. Yes. This one, Julie, the Poker Tracker 4 HUD, is that what you mean? Yeah, so we do end up getting this one through. So that's just like, man, I'm telling you, these little spots like that, I feel like if we can find these, sometimes it's the difference between staying alive and being in a situation where we're all in, is these little just like stick and move spots, especially in live poker during the summer. If you're going out, and not even just the summer, any live tournaments anywhere, you find these little spots where, you know, players are playing very ABC. The hands you raise matter much, much less. Though I will say, admittedly, if we're playing live poker, it is quite unlikely, especially if you're playing like some daily, that our opponents are stack size aware and knows that this player's tighter or this player's on a shorter stack behind, and then they go, oh, I can't 3-bet here because I'll be committing to them. You can't give your standard player random default out there credit for that. They're just going to be playing their hands, not the situations. Oh, Julie, so if you, on all of my Poker Tracker videos on YouTube, if you email me, well, I have in the description, email me, I will send you my custom HUD layout so that you can use this. So this pop-up that comes up, right? I will email it to you and you can import it into your Poker Tracker. Just reply to a YouTube video, email me, betondrew@gmail.com, say I'd like to get your custom HUD, and then you can utilize this along with the videos on my website here to work side by side. So what I suggest, if somebody wants to dig into this side of it more with the HUD, !HUD, you can download a trial version of Poker Tracker 4. Otherwise, it's $100. You get the full version, don't have to pay anything else. And then go to my website, click the YouTube button, and then down the bottom, you can scroll and see, these are my 4 main videos. And the way I would suggest watching them is the player types video, this first one, how to exploit and win poker tournaments. Watch this. I start to talk about the HUD a tiny bit here, and then go into the HUD video, how to use a heads up display, how to use Poker Tracker 4 to study MTTs. And then this is my favorite HUD video, how to analyze Poker Tracker 4 HUD stats. In this video here, I talk about exploiting the different strategies and player types that I listed in this first video. Okay. So here we go. All right. So the next one. So this situation a little bit different. I'm not making some crazy open because you see the stacks are different. They could 3-bet. This guy could defend, or if it folds to him, he could just exploit me because I have 27. He's got 28. I'm gonna have to play tighter. So this is something we always have to look at, in my opinion. It's actually this is like fun stuff to look at, is these shifting variables and how can we exploit the information and the stack sizes available to us. So fun. All right, now we have Queen 8 suited in the small blind. It folds to us. I think there's a couple of plays we have here. I think the majority of what we want to do here, we don't want to raise and get jammed on and have to fold our Queen 8 suited. I would much rather call here and then try to get to see a flop. What would you like to do though? Where are your instincts at, chat? Are you finding a raise here? Let's go ahead and actually look at this hand first. I'm going to play through it and then we're going to plug this in, because I think what we should be looking at and trying to compartmentalize in this spot is how to play suited hands from the small blind, like sub 30 big blinds, sub 20 big blinds. And I think you're going to see it's going to be a lot of calling because we don't want to raise fold them. Okay, cool, Julie. Yep, I think you're on the same page. That's where I'm at. So we limp, better blind, and then we take it down. So that's great. What's up, O2 Fist? Like a call, easy playable hand post flop. Agree, Wildcat. Okay, let's just take a quick look here. Let's just take a quick look, okay? What is this? 16 big blinds, 15 big blinds effective. Let's go. Fold here. Let's go to the lizard. Go to the lizard, and I'm gonna take this off ICM just so that we have a baseline for this hand. And whenever I'm saying baseline, everyone, I am trying to dumb down and make sure that I am communicating in a way that is widely digestible by all different skill levels and experiences from people watching the stream. Okay, so if I ever say something that you don't understand, use a word, stop me, ask me. That's what we're doing here. Now, let's see here. 17 big blinds, and it folds to us in the small blind. So here's what we're looking at. What's our strategy look like? And the biggest point, suited hands versus offsuit hands. Let's take a look, okay? Let me do a more common and relatable stack depth. Let's just do 20. Okay, so here's 20 bigs. And now the pink, green is call. And what we're going to look at here is where the majority of this is on the offsuit side. We definitely see more raising here, except for the booty offsuit stuff. It just wants to call. This is pretty much no man's land. But you could see there's definitely more raising going on this offsuit side. Whereas on the suited side, look at these hands here. Kind of our stronger ace X, king X, queen X, jack X. They just want to call. And our queen 8 suited, which is the hand we have in this situation, is part of this call. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. These hands have some decent playability post flop. And then now some of our suited bluffs are coming from like 9-5 suited, 10-5 suited, just the kind of garbage suited stuff over here. So, and it just to give us all like a rough visual of how to approach this situation. Suited we just call offsuit we raise. Yep. Generally speaking, that's a good guide, I would say. I think we can raise queen 8 off and fold to a jam. Let me see. Queen 8 off. Yep. Definitely raise queen 8 off. So let's see if we raise the small blind to 3 with the queen 8 off and then big blind jams. Yeah, you can see all of the hands here. If we raise small blind with this offsuit stuff that we were talking about and this booty suited stuff, these are all raise folds. That's why we don't want to have this stuff in the raising, because we don't want to have to fold this stuff. It's like very, very strong. And our opponent, when they just jam their pairs on us and then get us to fold king 8 suited, queen 8 suited, they're just like winning in life at that point. And we don't want that. So yes. Can I quick look at 40 big blinds with queen 8 suited? Yes, for sure. Let's pretend this spot we have 40 big blinds in the small blind. Let's see what our strategy looks like. Okay. Let me go back here. I'm sure there's another way to clear this, but anyway. 40 big blinds in the small blind. Okay, so here's our strategy. Now, we do see more raising. And do you know why? Green tea, you brought it up. I want to see. Chat, you can all chime into this too, for sure. Why are we seeing raising from the small blind with this queen 8 suited at 40 bigs, but we're not seeing it at 20 bigs? Definitely raising more. Still, some of the suited stuff is just calling, but it is a much less of this. We actually see more calling now on the offsuit side and keeping the pot small. What's up, EJM? How's it going, buddy? Yes, exactly. So the answer is on the 20-ish big blind stack, we are calling with the queen 8 suited because we want to be able to see a flop with that. We don't want to fold it. Whereas we can raise it on 40 bigs and still call a re-raise and still see a flop when we do raise the queen 8 suited on 40 bigs. So it really comes down to we want to be able to see a flop. So on 20 bigs, the best way to see a flop is to limp call a raise. And on 40 bigs, we can limp call a raise with the queen eight suited, but we can also raise and still call a raise and see a flop. That is definitely the reason. More hands with better implied odds are better with more big blinds. More hands, better implied odds are better with more big blinds. Yes, well, implied odds, yes, are definitely more of a thing when we have a bigger stack. But this really, I think the simple way to compartmentalize it is if you have a hand that you want to see a flop with. So you want to try to see the flop. And if you raise from 20, the easiest play for people to be doing is to jam. There's not going to be a lot of just like, you have 20 big blinds, you raise it to 3.5 blinds from the small blind, and then they just make it 10. That's not something you're going to see a lot, right? And then what? You call off half your stack, and then you go to the flop with a 0.5 SPR. Do you see what I'm saying? Whereas you raise the 40, you could call, and then you could still call a C-bet on the flop, and then on the turn, you're going to be closer to getting it all in. But that is the big thing. We want to see flops. We don't want to be denied our equity. And then let me see here. So you want to see 10 big blinds quick? We could show you 10 big blinds from the small blind. And now the queen eight suited still trying to see a hand, but it is starting to do some like min raising versus like 3 blind raising. But now you can see our strategy has completely shifted to a lot of all ins. The yellow is all in. So now we're shifting our strategy to just jamming like almost half the deck, 47%. Correct, Tobias. You can call 3 bets more with a bigger stack. Exactly. We don't want to be forced to not see a flop with this queen eight suited. That is the big message on 20 bigs. All right, raise the queens, and the short stack jams into us. And of course, we make the call, and we pick up a pot there. Very nice. And now we are 5-handed. So we're like, we sit 9 at this final table. And we're probably 10 or 11 left here. Let me see. All right, queen deuce. All right, so this is, I remember this one. I might have even tagged this one. What do you guys think? 15 big blind stack. Playing fairly reggish. For those of you who understand the HUD stats, 22, 16, 11. Pretty reggish. And I do cover this in my player types video that I mentioned earlier on my website. So what do? They jam 15 bigs. You're on the final table bubble. You have ace jack offsuit. I'm going to plug this into the lizard while you type in some of your thoughts. All right, Julie, I just typed you in the chat, but go to betondrew.com, click the YouTube button at the top, and you will find my player types video and the HUD videos. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Fold. I see fold, fold. Eileen, fold. This one's a toughie. Call ace queen for sure. You're welcome, Julie. No problem. All right, so a lot of us leading towards fold. And let me replay. So this is what I did. I agreed with you guys. I folded, but I think it's close. I think we need to look at this because we are short-handed. What are they jamming 15 bigs with, and how are we doing? There's a 3 big blind stack over here, a 12 big blind stack here. A little more context. This player did seem to be playing quite snug when we got down to the final 2 tables. So that did play a factor in me folding. But we plugged it in to GTO Wizard, and they have us 100% calling here. So let's study. Let's dig in more. All right. Why, Wizard? Why? Why? Tobias says call all day. Okay, Tobias, let's see. Maybe you're on to something we weren't on to. Let me see here. Okay, so they're all in. It gets to us in the big blind. Here is our calling range. The Wizard, based on what it assumes our opponent is jamming, wants us to call here. Pocket 3s plus We're looking at chip EV right now, by the way, everyone. It seems like when I copy paste a hand, it switches from ICM to chip EV, which is fine because this is good for our baseline. And then we'll just transition and see what changes in ICM, okay? What's up, Boston Dome? How are you, brother? Yes, correct. So it seems like it's switching to chip EV, but we'll bounce. This is, even though the focus today is ICM, as I stated, I think it's okay to start at chip EV so that we know the baseline, and then we will shift and see how our strategy changes when we are in ICM, okay? But yeah, it wants us to call, golly, man, I'm just not calling threes, I don't think. We got the ace 4 suited, the king 10 suited, queen jack suited. So we're calling a lot of our suited Broadway stuff, except for the queen 10, jack 10 suited, and then some of the ace X offsuit. Now, the question is, what does it have them jamming for 14 bigs? And do we think that the population of players are jamming this, or are they not? If they're jamming tighter, we're calling tighter, right? But it's assuming that for 15 bigs, they are jamming pairs, eights down, some of the strongest offsuit ace X, and then some of this middling stuff. And this is like full frequency, meaning this is the output that we're getting to call the ace jack is assuming that players are jamming here the 10-9 suited, the jack-9 suited. In practice, I don't think players are jamming these ones. I don't think players are jamming the king 10 suited, queen 10 suited, jack 10 suited. These ones, I don't think players are finding these jams. I think some players might even just be folding these small pairs. I think that these hands are going to be getting jammed. I think that these hands will be getting jammed for sure. King queen offsuit. I think that at 15 bigs, like we see in this example, I think a lot of players still have a raising strategy, especially when average stack depth is shallow, like here. Average stack depth was probably around 15-ish big blinds. I don't think players are jamming this wide, and I think that for us, it's still very reasonable to have a non-all-in strategy from 15. So I think this is a bit wide, and I would still, despite seeing what we're seeing here, I would still call tighter. But now looking at this example, it does make me want to call ace jack off more, because we would really have to tighten up their jamming range or take those small pairs. We'd have to assume that they're never jamming their like 7s, 6s, and 5s before I now kind of even really think about folding the ace jack too much, because this is kind of pretty deep into our calling range versus a theoretically sound jamming range. Does that make sense? What are you guys feeling? Let's see. What did Julie say? It's a fold because there are two short stacks. Okay, so now let's look at, this is just chip EV. Let's switch this to ICM now. Let's see what we can learn from this now. Two tables, ICM, and let's go down to 15. Okay, we're going to check this out now, everyone. What was the all-in spot? That was button cutoff hijack. That's 15, and then we're big blind. Let's see if we can find a 15 and 30 here. 15. This one's pretty close. Hijack jamming 17, big blind has 30. Let's take a look at this one. This should model it pretty close. So here we go, everyone. This is much closer. Now this is going to, now listen, this is ICM. This is ICM with this player jamming and us in the big blind. This is very, very close to our exact situation. And look, now we are finding the fold the majority of the time with the ace jack offsuit. But there is still some calling. So I think our biggest takeaway here is that ace jack is the line. I feel like we kind of subconsciously know when we see this situation, like, oh my gosh, even your responses in the chat when we first saw this, I was like, oh, geez, this is tough. And I think that makes a lot of sense because we could see, we subconsciously know, dang, this ace jack is like really, really close, right? What's up, Mango Oasis? Good to see you. You're welcome, my friend. I hope you get a lot out of it. But now let's compartmentalize. We got the manta ray here. If you guys remember our last couple study sessions, we've identified the manta ray as the pocket eights plus, and then like the ace jack plus. So we pretty much have the manta ray in this spot. Let's see. Do you think ace jack is even an open under the gun considering ICM and stack distribution? Julie, I would open it, yes, for sure. Because I think people wouldn't be responding well, so I want to take advantage of that. Tea Time, Billin, and Moister, thank you for the follows. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I'm sorry I missed you a little bit ago. So from ICM, ace jack off is the bottom threshold, yes. Yeah, so I like the fold. I folded here. And, you know, I'm going to ramble a bit. Stop me if you have any questions, any thoughts. Let me see. A guy jammed Queen Jack offsuit on you yesterday. Yeah, I remember that, Tobias. If we're assuming some edge, so like in this situation here, as we're looking at this, I will fold these like fringy hands, right? Like this ace jack offsuit, and maybe even if we had king queen suited and I wanted to call in this situation, I will fold some fringy spots if I think that I have some edge in this tournament. And somebody just mentioned, let me see, where did they go on player profile at that point? Would call in the larger buy-in. Oh, okay, what Wildcat said. If I'm assuming I have less of an edge, I'm going to take the close spots and just hope that I run pure. But if I'm in a situation like this where I'm raising 7-3 offsuit in the cutoff, right? Then, oh, wait a second. You're right. Thank you, Obafemi. We were actually on the cutoff here. We moved to big blind, and it did add a couple more hands in our calling range here from the big blind. So excuse me, I did that last time too. Thank you, Obafemi. They are correct. So here, now we're looking at big blind. Ace jack is in there, but still leaning on the point I was making. If we feel like we have an edge and we can pick up pots in other spots, I personally don't mind folding some of the fringy hands that we can call. And if we're in a Triton High Roller playing versus Phil Ivey and all these other elite players, I'm going to be making the call with the ace jack and just praying. Do you see what I'm saying? I think that's like a very good point and a way to decide whether or not we want to take a close spot. If you enjoy playing that way. Some people enjoy playing, the book says this, I call. And that's fine, right? So yeah, so this is more of what we're actually looking at. So here we go. ICM 15 bigs, final two tables, hijack all in 17, and then now this is big blind response. Okay. So we did end up folding. And then also one thing to look at, what does it say that they're jamming? So another way that we can kind of adjust our calling range there is thinking about what they're jamming. They're all in. They have, again, it makes me just still want to fold the ace jack versus like random players in a non-high level tournament, right? This is a $33 3K because a lot of players just aren't finding the king 9 suited, jack 10 suited, queen 10 suited, the low ace x suited jams. They're just not finding these, the population of players, especially on like ACR sub 100, sub $200 buy-in. And then that's just going to affect our range, and we're just going to be calling even tighter then. So Wildcat says, I still think it's fold. Final table bubble should be tighter than final two tables. Then the lizard is set to. True, true. Definitely a fun hand. The old lizard, man, huh? Jeez, GTO lizard. Are we getting sexy here? Ah, this guy's kind of short. 6 blinds. I want to get sexy and raise here. Part of me even wants to get sexy and limp. All right. Oh, this was a miss. Oh, wait, no, this wasn't a misclick. Oh, I remember this hand. I'll explain this, but I don't think the lizard's going to give us an output on this. So we see a min raise here. Why is Drew clicking it? So what's happening here is this player is trying to exploit the table and people who are not paying attention. So I'm going to point this out, and I like what they're doing here. If you're not paying attention, you just see a min raise, then what we're going to do here is fold, right? With the ace 6, but they have 0.7 blinds behind. They're trying to catch players sleeping. And I respect this. I like this a lot. There's a certain awareness necessary to realize this, because they could have just put it all in, but I like this. This is kind of like a next level min raise here. So what I'm doing is clicking it back, because if this player happens to wake up with a monster, they're going to jam, and I can just make an easy fold for minimal risk. But if they're not going to flat this here on a final table bubble situation, they're never just calling this. So that's why I min clicked it here. And yes, treated it more like a blind versus blind situation. And they did fold. And what happened? They hit the, oh, we were in there. So nice, man. Look at this, king 6 versus ace 6. So we were so pretty in this spot. Okay. All right, so this is another situation where I don't think we're going to find this to be a theoretical open, but I'm exploiting the final table bubble situation. And again, it's another spot where the big blind is short, I raise, and these players are going to be playing quite honest, trying to get to the final table and not going to be jamming too light. And then if the big blind wanted to, it's going to be really tough. They're going to have to 3-bet commit to the big blind, and then they're also, they could attack me. They have an awesome stack to attack me and my specific stack. But again, we have some protection from the big blind, so I decided to raise it. They did 3-bet commit, and I folded. So punish there. Good raise by them, though. All right, this player jams. We're going to fold the Robbie and then throw out the cry emoji, which I did in real time. This is a situation where I think we can raise and exploit this player. We got 2 shorter stacks. I actually like... I don't mind call. My plan here is call, stab, flop. But I also don't mind making it 2.5 blinds if I think that this opponent in the big blind is going to be playing quite straightforward, which I do. But I think I can get it done with the limp stab as well. So I save like a half a blind with the limp stab versus the 2.5. And they jam, so we make an easy fold. Take a break with that one. 10-9 suited, too pretty. We decide to raise it up. This player flats, which this is interesting because we're not going to see typically too much flatting from this stack depth. I don't think that they're trapping, so I think they have a hand that is too strong. They feel like it's too strong to fold, but they don't want to get it all in yet. Let me see Julie's question. Does anyone think that this game is getting a lot tougher and you really need to be lucky sometimes to win tourneys? The game is definitely getting, getting tougher, yes. But I think it feels more accurate to say evolving. The game has definitely moved from, let's say, I'm going to go like way back from 1970s, like early Doyle Brunson super system era, from players playing their cards and only a couple of people playing poker to nowadays more people playing poker. But there are still a lot of players, especially if you are playing live poker, who are just playing their cards. So yes, the game is harder and it has evolved, but I don't think that it is so much so that you need to be getting lucky. I think it will be a bit more fair to all of us to say that finding ways to create your own luck is more important these days, and you do have to have more of a, what I'll say, like a chess mindset to find more of a consistent success in poker these days. It's a thinking game, and we're trying to figure out our opponent's strategy, see where their weaknesses are, and then we should be adjusting to that. It's going to be more difficult these days to get away with just playing your cards at face value and winning tournaments and winning at a high consistency. So I agree with you in that sense, Julie. Let's see. So we got the 10-9 suited. We are on a short stack situation here. I'm betting 1 blind. And the reason for this is I just think that we can manipulate this short stack situation while minimizing our risk. They decided to go for a raise and we make an easy fold. But if they would have just called here, I I think they could have had just like an ace jack ace 10 that folds here, that call strong enough to call pre-flop, but they don't necessarily maybe want to get it all in, even though those are probably easy jams versus me here. You're welcome, Julie. Please, everyone, questions. I am here. This is what we're doing. We're all studying and trying to get better. So I'm happy to have you here watching and hanging out. Okay. So we get to the old Jamaruski. For those of you who might just be tuning in, we are final table bubble in a $33 3K, and we are looking at our situations, trying to get better. Oh, this is a cheeky spot. I think I can raise, not go all in, and produce a lot of folds from our opponent here. But one factor to consider, and we don't even need to 3-bet big. Like kind of a general rule of thumb, we're out of position. We make it 4x the open. But once you get deep stages in tournaments, you really don't need to go too much bigger. We could probably make it 4.5, 5 big blinds from out of position and get a lot of folds because it looks super strong. And when I put in a third of my stack and I have 10 blinds behind, players are more conscious at this stage in a tournament, like, oh dang, if I call this, they could have aces. I'm going to be like having to put in 10 more blinds, and it feels like a shove sometimes to players. And it has a lot more power at this stage of the tournament than it will in some earlier stages. Ali, welcome back. Thank you for the 56 months. Much love. It is good to see you. What did I do? Call. I don't know, chat. My instincts actually like fold and then 3-bet. My 3-bet, I could still 3-bet to 5 blinds and fold if they jam. I don't love the call. What do you guys think? Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the call, man. Let's see if we can get some output on this one. Okay, what are we? 15 bigs. Yeah, I just don't like this call. I don't like it, Scotty. I don't know, because his range should be wide. Pits me out, says I think shove over call. Okay. All right, so actually, it doesn't mind the call. I'm a little bit surprised instinctively. You saw how I reacted, right? It's like, I don't love this. But okay, calling is fine. Their range should be wider here. We could progress, or we could take it to the flop and then just kind of go from there. But it does prefer the all-in, same EV value of the plays, so we're kind of flipping a coin. The all-in, especially if they're not overly tight, I don't love their stats. That player's stats, they never really, I mean, we have over 250 hands on them, and they never really picked it up. They're playing 19, 15, 9, which is fairly, I would say, tight. It's not a huge sample, but it's a notable sample. So pits me out. You like the shove call? Very, it seems like it. Seems like that's good. So let's study. Let's take a peek at this overall strategy with 15 bigs, final table, bubble. Right now we're looking at chip EV. We're going to immediately shift to ICM in a second. Let's see, fold. Big blind flop comes. Oh, actually, no, we need to go here because I need to see small blind strategy. Queen jack offsuit. Yeah, so here we go. We see the jam and the mix. Kindred TV, welcome back, buddy. Thank you for the 58 months, brother. Let's go. Good to have you here for the study stream. What's up, Tuffy? Good to see you, good sir. Tobias says, I don't mind a call, but there's a great hand to 3-bet and fold if they jam. I dig it. So it looks like they so the Lizard doesn't even have any non-all-in 3-betting. I personally really like the idea of having a 4.5 to 5 blind 3-bet here. It is just so cheeky, man. And if you have aces and you play a jam only, then you're just going to be getting a lot of folds, in my opinion. I love having a 4.5 to 5 big blind 3-bet strategy deep in tournaments because it's so effective. But the Lizard isn't suggesting for it, but I'm still going to be having that in my game. Especially if we're playing live poker, it's so effective, and you can navigate in live tournaments with 10 to 15 blinds. So well still. So much fold equity, so much room to move. And honestly, if you have a really good like sub 20 big blind, sub 15 big blind strategy, I think that during the summer you could crush like these dailies and 1-day tournaments at the random casinos. Just my opinion, I've had a lot of success with it the last few summers, last few years. What's up, SMMO? SMO, how are you? Pits me out, like it closer to 20 bigs. Let's see here real quick in a second. I do believe there will be some non-all-in 3-betting at 20. Yeah, so Queen Jack off is mixing. What else? We're jamming all of our ace-X in this situation versus big stack open. We're jamming the majority of our ace-X, folding the worst offsuit ace-X, all of our pairs, and then looking at heavy focus of playing towards the Broadway area here to the 9X. But let's look at this spot, ICM. Final 2 tables. And let's hone into 15 big blind area. I'm small blind with about 15. Big blind is about the same. And then, oh, that's all 15s. Let's see, 14. Jack. I like this better, actually. Let's look at this one. So cutoff. Oh, cutoff is one. I'm going to put in hijack. I know it's a cutoff open. But with this arrangement, it just has all in, has the small blind short. So let's see, button folds. So we have a late position. Just process it this way. Late position open. We're in small blind with about 14. And now in this situation, it has Queen Jack off being a fold. And then sometimes, okay, sexy, look at this. So at 20, in a average 20 big blind stack situation, look, it does have some non-all-in, and Queen Jack offsuit has this tiny sliver of make it 4 big blinds. This makes me happy because my instincts are definitely having some non-all-in 3-bets here from this ace-10 off, ace-9 off, ace-8 off, ace-deuce suited. This makes my poker spirit happy to see this. And then look, this is what I was saying. We just don't really want to just be ripping aces here for 15 bigs. We're just going to be getting too much folds. And then now to balance this strategy and to have some big hands that you can still induce and players will think you're folding, we have to have some of this other garbage in here. It even has a sliver of like pocket fives, making it 4 blinds here. Okay, that's beautiful. My poker spirit is so happy right now seeing this. Doing good, Mo, doing good. But pits me out, you're correct, because this situation here is drawing an average of 20 big blinds in this spot and considering ICM, and we do see now some of the non-all-in 3-bets. So mostly fold and in an ICM situation and 3-bet otherwise. Plato Poker, I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. Pleasure to have you here. Thank you for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate that support. It means a lot. All right, sexy. Okay, cool. So what we'll categorize here, we can flat, we can jam in regular non-ICM situations, but we can go to Sexy Town and do some like 4.5 blind 3-betting with some hands like this, which is great. I love it. Carney Prince, thank you for the love, 200 biddies. Let's go. Thanks for all the hype right now, everyone. I'm glad you all are enjoying these study streams. This is great. We're all going to be so ready for WSOP, live poker, and then even those of you who might not be going out and playing live poker. This is great to just kind of build this foundation for playing online and everything. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue forward. Oh, that makes my spirit so happy, man, to see the not all in 3-betting there. What's up, Plato Poker? How's it going? See you in the chat. Okay, what happened here? What the heck? King deuce off. Queen Jack. Okay. Gosh, if this big blind went all in for like 4.8 blinds, I'm not exactly sure what I would have done. Not exactly sure. Gotta hang on a second. I gotta move this. This is annoying me. It's over the players there. There are some final table spots I definitely want to look at here from this tournament as well. Okay, what do we have? Cheeky here, 11 bigs on the button with 10-8 suited. I want to play... I think we could shove this in a good amount of situations. I'm going cheeky because my opponents I don't think are exploiting me too hard. So I'm just min-raising, and we did get this one through. But let's take a look here. Can we ICM this one? Button, let me see. Fold the button. So it's showing a button at 12 bigs here. Okay, so this models pretty well, I'd say. We have 11 bigs. And small blind has... Yeah, this actually models quite well, it looks like. So what are we jamming here? What are we min-raising? We have 10-8 suited, and it likes the all-in. Okay, so it likes all-in. It likes a min-raise, not all-in. 10-7 suited. So I'm ballpark here. 10-7 suited, Jack-7 suited. Okay, so I'm even just like compartmentalizing. What are our heavy jams here? What hands does it just want us to jam? And we are seeing that our ace-9 suited down, our ace-9 offsuit down, we're jamming. So we're jamming a good bit of our offsuit here. All the small pairs here when we get to the button in this situation, 7's down. I'd probably even put 8s in there, honestly, just to humanize this a little bit. Let's just say when we folds to us, late game, final 2 tables, ICM situation, we're going to jam pocket 8s on the button here versus these stack depths, and then our ace-9 suited offsuit down, and then we're going to find some jams with our suited fringy Broadway stuff, the king-jack, queen-jack suited, and then the 9x suited stuff. I dig it here. And then we're going to jam some of the offsuit here, the king-queen, king-jack, queen-jack offsuit. And then we're going to be doing some min-raising with our strong hands. We don't want to just rip aces, kings, queens. We want to induce some action. We want to, and then have some of this weaker stuff to raise and then balance it out. We know we're going to be folding. So look, we're going to be folding all of this stuff down here that you see in pink. I'm drawing a line here. We're going to be folding all this stuff when we raise, but then obviously calling all of this stuff when we raise. What's up, Old Irish? How are you? Yeah, buddy, we're looking at ICM, final 2 table bubble, and then we're going to moving into the final table. Did I jam the 10-8 suited? No. I min-raised and then got it through. Min-raised versus 2 opponents that I did not think were rejamming correctly versus me. If I thought that these players were rejamming correctly, then I'm just going to jam here. But I thought that I could minimize, just be more efficient min-raising here if I'm not going to get exploited by proper jams. Like, no need to, if they're only going to jam their strong stuff, I'll just min-raise here. I'm not sure, I'm not even sure if I jam here, if their call-off range and their rejam range, it's probably the same. I probably don't get them to fold hands they would have jammed as much when I jammed, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so we got that one through. Raise the a7. This player was in an advantageous position as they had a big stack. This is probably a spot where I would like a jam more here, given the big blind player here. See, because they're just giving us too much of a problem. We did get away with a 1 blind C bet here, so that is wonderful. And now if I was in the moment here playing, if I know that I'm going to be able to get away with this, now I'm back to, okay, I could minimize some risk and just min-raise if I think this opponent was going to be giving up post-flop. I can't say right now, I can't remember, but seeing this makes me feel that. Like, I like to play more now if I knew that that was going to be something that happens a good bit. All right, all in a call, same hand. That's cute, guys. All right, let's see, final table time. Nope, not yet. Okay, so something happened. Now we are final table. Okay, check it out. This is final table of a $33 3K. We are in the money, and first place is over 700 bucks. So now, this is ICM. And there was definitely some spots here that were close. So tune in. This is where the money's made, man, right? This is where we need to be like tight, even though this is where our strategy can be like the most complex and toughest to learn. So let's see what we can make of it. Let's see what we can make of it. Let's get it. 10-4 suited. Easy, get out of my face. 9-4 offsuit. Easy, get out of my face. You two, get out of here. Queen 7, no overcalling, get a grip. 31 blind jam, Mr. J Bay. Oh, this is friend of stream. Oh, okay. What are we? 11, 10, 7. Yeah, we're super short here. Let's see what they jammed. They have all the chips. They could jam whatever here and just exploit. Yeah. Had the spot with 12 bigs, 18 left. 3 tables with ace 2 suited around MP. Shoved when I think it was a min raise fold. Yeah, life tilt, I think probably you're probably fine maybe at 3 tables. I don't know that I'm thinking too much outside of chippy V at final 3 tables. Maybe I should. I'm not saying that that's the way. All right, a raise. We're gonna fold the offsuit. Now this is a spot I feel like as far as setting the tone. One thing that I try to do is when I get to the final table, I try to reset because now our table dynamic has changed. You know, we have some new players to the table. We got to analyze and see, okay, where are my potential spots to like get some cheeky stuff through? Like, what is my starting strategy here? I've got 10 bigs. I got a 6 blind stack, a 6 blind stack. And then to my right here, we have some like 15 blind stacks plus. And then we got a 28 blind stack who we deem to be fairly capable, and they didn't really lose too many chips final 2 tables. They were in a very nice situation. So there's like 1, 2, 3 of us who are kind of battling here and got to mind our P's and Q's. So that's kind of the initial flow going into this final table. And I think also we have to watch our opponents and see what type of strategy they might be employing. You know, if some of these bigger stacks are just opening every hand. Like if I was one of these 35 big blind stacks, I'm probably going to be opening a few more hands because these short stacks are waiting to go. And these middling stacks don't want to make a mistake before these short stacks, including myself, bust out. So there's a very kind of a way that we can organize our thoughts at the start of this final table. I hope I was there. Let me see. So see, this is like a dodgy-ish spot. I kind of want to do something here. I don't really have many chips. Would anybody jam here? Is anybody jamming here? What are we jamming here? Let's actually ask this question. Everything I just said, we have short stack, and me as a shorter stack. We have ace-5 suited. Now actually ignore my hand here. Let me do this. Let's see if I can do this. Hide my joint. Hang on. My poker tracker's tripping. There we go. What hands are we jamming here? Pits me out, says I'm folding 100%. C19 says I'm shipping. Gumlan not shipping. So let's think about what we're jamming here. Let's go ahead and switch this. MTT ICM, final table. And we are down yonder here. So it looks like we're going to get some outputs at average 15 blind stack, which seems fair. We are... So we are +1 technically? No, that's not right. Let's see. Yeah, so let's actually look at us as not +1. I guess it's let's look at low jack here. Let me see. We have 9 blinds and then 13 blind stack opening, a little bit more. This might be the closest example that we could find. So they raise for 2. Okay, so it looks like the chat here, the question is, what would we be jamming in my situation to this open with 9 bigs at a final table? Old Irish says jamming 9s plus, ace jack. Let's see. Plato says ace queen off. Rajath says king queen suited, nines plus. Radshow says aces tens, ace queen off plus. Plato says ace jack suited, eights plus. Tobias says I'm playing so tight in that situation. Understandably so. Understandably so. Okay, let's see here. We are going to button cutoff hijack low jack. We're going to assume ourselves to be we're next position. So right here, this is the strategy we're going to look at. ICM situation, final table, under the gun +1 has raised, and we are in a next position. So yeah, ace-5 suited is just not even close. We are, it looks like a bunch of you kind of got pretty close. 9th plus, we're pure jamming. And then ace-jack suited is pure, ace-queen off. So yeah, pretty strong jamming range. 9s plus, ace-jack suited, ace-queen off plus. And then got some king 10 suited, king jack suited in there. I'm not sure I'm finding these ones per se. King queen suited, that was also mentioned. And yeah, the 5 and 7 are folding a lot. We got a non-all-in strategy here. Raise it to 4 from 9 big blinds with aces, ace queen, ace king suited, and 10s, which is very interesting. I'm probably just going to jam everything I play here. Even though it would be really cool, like, if we make it 4.5 blinds here, is anyone going to think we do not have aces? All right, does anybody think that we're going to be 3-bet folding? So I do actually kind of like the idea of some non-all-in 3-betting here, though. It's so cheeky. Hits me out. I'm folding the king 10 suited very instinctively as well. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and go back to the deal here. I know, if you do 3-bet bluff, I want to do it, man, for the books. Jeez. I want to do it too. Okay, so we did find the fold, and there's a jam here. Okay, good. It's a fold. Yep, clear fold in that spot with our ace-5 suited. Very clear fold. We're only getting it all in with 6-7% of our hands. And I'm getting that percentage. You could see here with the yellow, but then on the right side, you can see 5.8% of hands inside of here, what you see in the yellow, would be going all in for our 9 blinds. And then there's a cheeky 1.5% of these hands, the aces, and then some of this little bit of pink you see over here. So basically, we can humanize this and just say 7% of hands we're jamming here. So we're very tight. Old Irish, I know it does. 4.5 looks super scary, which makes me love it. But golly, does it hurt when if I ever have a 3-bet bluff there and I have to fold because I have like the king 9 suited or something. I was like, oh geez, I just put in half my stack. I'm gonna fold, even though I actually bet they would just like 3-bet call off. Actually, let me see here. What are the bluffs? Let's say if this is a balanced raise to 4, king queen offsuit raise to 4. Are we ever putting, let's see this. Are we ever putting in 4 bigs of our 9 bigs with the king queen offsuit and then folding when under the gun goes all in? Oh my gosh, what a sicko. The lizard is such a sicko, man. Look at this. GTO lizard wants to, from 9 bigs in this last situation. Oh my gosh, lizard, you are something else, man. Take me on a date. Look at this. Okay, so the lizard wants us to make it 4 blinds here from 9 bigs, ICM final table situation with king queen off, ace jack off. Oh, this actually does get me a little, as Joey Ingram would say, poker hard here. Make it 4 bigs, fold the king queen off, the ace jack off, and the ace 10 suited fold. Which, again, that's pretty just like bossy, man. You're like, I'm all right. I got 5 bigs still. I'm going to fold. And actually, if you look at the final table stack arrangement here, this premix has 5 bigs. This player has 8 bigs. It's still a thing, man. And you will see people at Triton do stuff like this. The absolute legends, man. Right? But again, if you make it 4 bigs from 9 bigs and somebody still jams on you, probably assuming that their range of hands that they jam there is pretty nutted, pretty strong, because even Old Irish, and I think a lot of us would agree, if you see somebody 3-bet here from 9 bigs to down to 5 bigs, how often do you think they're ever folding? Like never, right? Oh gosh. What's up, Greg? Cheers, brother. Much love. Good to see you, Mr. Man. Gosh. Poker is so funny, dude. Oh, that makes me so happy. I can't wait to do this. Literally, I'm going to go so hard out of my way to make it 4 blinds. And just, I want to be that person. Like, I'm raising from 9 bigs, half my stack, and folding. And then I'm going to emoji a smiley face or a halo face. That's the play. All right, give me my poker tracker back here. More nonsense. There's definitely some more spots. Oh, Greg, look. Play the 7 deuce, man. Oh, baby. Okay, we had to fold it here. Though the Texas in me has me wanting to play 7 deuce even in non-stream games. It's very it's very toxic but funny. Look at this. Ooh, the scoot with the 4.5 3-bet. Respect. And it gets the fold. What is this stack? 14? Oh, this is so sexy, Scoot. So sexy. Okay. Lee. What are we doing here? We got to look at this one, actually. Folds to us in the small blind because there's a 4 blind stack over here. I don't really want to fold. This player hasn't been too aggressive. We for sure need to look at this one, man. I want a min raise here and fold. As a very exploitative play, I want a min raise fold here. If we're gonna 3-bet 4 bigs from our 9 big stack, we have to have some like min raise fold strategy here, right? When are we going to be at the WSOP this year? I will be leaving end of May, and the $500 freeze out is May 28th, I believe. And 2 of our home game winners are going to be going out there along with some other players and playing that $500 freeze out. So I'll be out there for that to start. Please, Lord, give me the min raise fold strategy on this one. Okay. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Please, dear Poker Lord, give me the min raise fold in this spot. Yes. There's min raise fold here. Look at this. The pink baby. So it wants us to jam small blind. Oh, get this chip EV out of here. We need that sexy final table ICM. I forgot every time we paste it shifts from 8, 11. Okay, so yeah, it's not going to be as sexy here. We're going to see some, let me see here. What models it closely? Let me see what this 5 looks like from small blind. Okay, so just a pure shove strategy. Oh my gosh, man. I'm finding min raise folds here. I promise you in the future from the small blind. But anyway, from an ICM standpoint, folds to us in the small blind. We got like 5 bigs, 6 bigs, whatever. We're going to be looking to jam actually wider than I have compartmentalized right now. 66% of hands. Let's just see. Fold, small blind, ICM, final table. Okay. This is definitely jamming wider. We got no man's land right here. This stuff is usually just not even in our equation for a lot of plays. Like this no man offsuit land. Just call it that, categorize it that. And here's its stepsister over here. Even though we're defending big blind, we play this stuff. But there are regions within this chart where I think we visually can build some names for some sections, and it'll help us remember stuff easier. I'm a very visual learner. But yeah, no man's land. What do we got? 10-7 offsuit. Our specific hand likes to jam here. You know what I wonder? I wonder what this player is going to be calling with. What are you saying here? Old Irish Drew on the strategy tab. Click it to show EV2. Strategy tab. Strategy tab. Where is that at? I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, I see. Strategy tab. EV. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to actually take it off because I don't really gather much more from it, because like at what point is enough EV enough EV? Like when are you actually adjusting your decisions based on this EV, right? Like we see here, the 2s is 0.53 EV, 3s is 0.61. I don't think, and I try to really simplify a lot of stuff, right? So seeing those doesn't really help me to make any sort of a decision change, right? Whether or not I see this, like, oh, 6-4 suited 0.01, because I'm really just trying to humanize and categorize things in such a simple way that I can get close, because there's like splitting hair spots. It's just like not for me. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Okay. So what I want to see is big blind calling here. What are they supposed to call with? And do we think that in this ICM situation that our opponent, when I jam 6 bigs and it is a notable amount, a lot of fold equity for them, they're supposed to be, no way. Oh my gosh, look at this. So if big blind is supposed to be calling offsuit queen 4, 5, 6, 7, all of this stuff, even considering how wide we're jamming 67% from the small blind here. And in order for them to properly defend versus us, they have to call 53%. That said, this makes me want to jam 100% from the small blind. Like, not literally, but almost. What's up, Ship It? How's it going, buddy? Never jamming that spot unless they have 3 or less big blinds. Tobias, yeah, the thing is we are printing money when our opponents are not calling correctly. Like, if you think about this, like, if I jam here, I have 6 bigs, I could pick up 2.63 blinds. I almost get a double up. Or not a double up, excuse me. A 50% stack increase. If I can get this jam through, do you know, not you specifically, Tobias, but think about how that impacts us and how much longer we can survive in this situation as a short stack if we get this jam through. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, we have to be like willing to, I love this line, man, but we have to be willing to die in tournaments in order to live. And this feels like such a great example of that with these short stacks. We can't play scared because they're going to be playing scared. We have to, like, what are the odds that we even get it gets folded to us in the small blind, and we have this beautiful opportunity where in order for our opponent to really change our decision making, they have to call half the deck, and they're not. Give me one example of when you jammed in a similar short stack situation at a final table and anyone ever called you with the Jack 5 suited or the Queen 3 off or the Queen 4 off, all right? And I'll give you $50. Like right now, if you can give me the ACR hand replayer, like people just aren't. It's not happening. So I should be just jamming more than, in my opinion, I'm going to compartmentalize this. And I'm going to, instead of jamming 66% here, I'm just going to jam 80%. I'm going to fold all of the, no man's land, all this offsuit stupid stuff, and I'm jamming everything else. I mean, it's just the play here after looking at this. Like, I like even limp stab more than fold at this point. Phony, you jam 10-7 off here all day. That's amazing. I think it's very good awareness and understanding by you if you are. So we made a fold here, and I know, man, I felt like, dang, that could be a missed opportunity here. Right? I'm crying inside right now. Okay, the ace of jacks, 6 of bigs. This is an easy one. And we get called. I'm probably not going to have any min-raising strategy here. I guess we could look at it since that's the focus for today. Ace jack, ace 9. All right, is there a min-raise strategy? I'm not betting on that. I'm assuming this is just all Rip City. Yeah, all in. Okay. Study, please. Study me. All right, let's go here. So yeah, there's no min-raising on the button here. This is just pure all-in strategy. And we're jamming 45% of the deck. All of our aces, all of our kings, but not king deuce offshoot. Okay, Lizard, you got it. All of our queen 3 are queen high suited, except queen deuce suited. Okay, Lizard, you got it. All the pairs, Okay, so where are we compartmentalizing easy here? I would say the sexy eights on the suited side. And then we got the offsuit 9 axis, offsuit 9, suited 7. Okay. So right here. These are sexy. These are cool. I like to see that these are players here. Okay, all the aces, kings, and then the suited queens pairs. And then some of the sexy suited connected stuff is how we'll compartmentalize this, I think, the easiest way. What's up, CRS? How are you? What's up, Johnny Ringo? What's good, brother? It's easy to say shove looking here, but when you play 3-4 hours to get to that spot, it's much more difficult to shove those raggedy 10-7 off. Yeah, Rad Show, that's totally true. Like, I think we can all connect with the emotion behind that. Like, we put all this energy into getting this deep in the tournament. Do we really want to risk it ending, jamming the 10-7 off in the small blind spot? But while we can connect with that, the other side is, golly, we've invested all this time to get to this point. How amazing would it be to find these awesome spots to shove when we know people aren't calling correctly? And then because of that, we ended up winning versus getting whatever I got here in this tournament. So there's like some calibration there, I think, with our emotions and whatnot. It's like, how bad do you want it? And are you willing to die and bust out for it? And once the more and more we study, we can connect with those moments more and be able to put our emotions aside, because it's such an emotional game. Such an emotional game we play. All right, so we're up to 14 bigs. Living the dream. Another gun open. A sexy 3-piece. And this is actually notable, even though it's maybe nothing. But I like to take notes and pay attention to the players that are capable of raise folding sub 15 bigs. This player has about 14 bigs. They're raising under the gun and they have a raise fold range. Because this is notable. You can attack these players. You can jam more confidently on these players. Because if we take this back to poker, let's just say, for an example, 10 years ago, there's just not a lot of players that would even be raising from this stack, never mind raise folding from this stack. But the game has definitely evolved. So identifying these players who are doing some shorter stack ninja stuff, I feel like is quite valuable. It's even harder when you have 200 people watching on stream. Old Irish, it is, man. The pressure's on. You don't want to make mistakes. Streamers can have it tough, especially if you're a newer streamer. Those stream emotions on top of regular poker playing emotions, it's different, man. And I know that probably the most accurate word I would say is struggled with those emotions. Poker emotions layered with streamer emotions, people watching you. Don't make a big mistake. Chat's gonna troll you or say whatever. Like, that's a thing. I definitely dealt with that a lot in 2017, 2016, 17 for sure. 18, but then after 2019 when we did the Thirst Lounge stuff, and then definitely now, I'm out of the matrix in the sense I just don't really care what people think. I've studied and played poker so long at this point that I know I'll make mistakes, and I'm streaming and I know people are going to have stuff to say. But you know what? There's something to remember. The people who say stuff and talk crap in chat and streams and whatnot, you would never see Phil Ivey, Daniel Negreanu, any of these, those are like OGs, but then Jason Kuhn, let's go some more like notable people. Faraz, Poker's Elite would never talk crap or criticize your play when you're streaming or on any videos. They are not people to criticize play and speak up. So if you think about the people who are going to troll and make you feel a certain way about a play you made, you probably shouldn't even be caring about what that player thinks, because their response is an emotional one, and it is one that I just don't care about anymore if someone says something, right? The people who really matter to me and opinions I care would message me on the side or say something later. Or they would say, if they do say something in the chat, it's not going to be one that like rattles me. It'll be like, oh, dang, I should like follow up or look at this spot later, right? Okay, let's see what's next. Layers, man. Layers to this game, dude. I'm telling you. Look at this. Drew gets an easy one. The ace king suited. Let's say easy, but I actually think I should have a... This is an easy jam. It's going to be fine. I think it's going to be a mix, but honestly, I bet that we should be making this 4.5 blinds here. I bet that we should be making this 4.5 blinds here. Let me see. Some frequency. It's actually, it's probably a jam, and then like our aces is going to be the rip city. Or no, the aces is going to be the non-all-in. Unsupported number of players in this hand. Bruh. What do you mean? You're tripping, GTO wizard. Bruh. Huh, weird. Okay, we got to go in manually here. Roll the sleeves up, everyone. What do we got? 13 bigs. ICM. Final table and... Sexy baby. Let's do, what do they have? They have 19, we have 13. Okay, here's a good model. Okay, under the gun with the mini, and then our response here. Ace king suited. Okay, ace king suited does have non-all-in to 5 blinds. It does have some shoving, so let me just make sure. Yeah, first to act, and then me in next position. This the GTO wizard is doing 8-handed, but we combined it 9-handed. But first to act, we're second to act. So we're gonna look at this model here. First to act open, and then us next. Non all in, ace king suited, 5 big. So we actually, though we hit the low frequency, the high frequency is definitely raised, not all in. Jam the offsuit. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I know we're jamming the offsuit. The suited ace king is gonna be the one a lot of the times where even when we're like not final table 30-40 bigs, it's going to be non all in 3-bet with the ace king suited, all in with the ace king offsuit in like 3-bet 4-bet situations. So it looks like it transfers here too, even in a final table ICM situation. But jamming the kings mostly, and the ace queen offsuit wants to do some non all in. We got the sexy ace jack off bluff. We got the king jack suited bluff, a6 suited bluff. See these pinks on these hands, they're not going to be calling when our opponent 4-bet jams, so we know these are bluffs. Okay, so I don't hate it, but just as I suspected, we should be looking to make it 5 bigs here so that we have a full non-all-in 3-bet strategy from the stack depth. Okay, cool. Take it down. Ace 4, get out of my face. We lost a player. GG's. 9-7 suited. Is this an all-in? Oh, I was going to say, it was a weird 3-bet size. What is this? What do I have? 3-5 suited. Oh, the pain of having to fold this one. What do we have? 12 bigs. Oh, they're super short. Are they jamming? What do they call? Let's see this. 4 blind jam, small blind. A7 suited. Easy jam. 8-9 offsuit. Majovi found the 8-9 offsuit. I owe this person $50, don't I? I don't. Wow. Hang on a second. Wow, they found the call with 8-9 offsuit. What is this real life? This is not real life. Hang on a second. Let me see something. Small blind all in. I guess they're kind of assuming if this was a 3 big blind jam. Wait, was it? Was it a 3 big blind jam? Pretty much. It's kind of like 3 big blind jams and spots. You just are like all in. You just like call. So like your whole range. So I guess this is close. Let's actually look. 4 big blind stack jams at the final table. You're in the big blind with 14 blinds. What are you calling with? Let's see. Okay. ICM final table. Boom. Small blind all in. Our model is going to show 5. Wow. Big blind. Somebody, GTO safety check here. Oh, 8-9 off's not in there. I was going to say, if this was right in there, like that's so sick. But gosh, if the small blind is jamming correctly here, 66% of hands. Folds to you in the small blind. Are you finding these jams right here? If you're finding these jams, the big blind needs to be finding these calls. And we actually already established that in a hand that we studied earlier, small blind versus big blind at the final table. We could jam 66% of hands. I was like, oh, I'm going to jam 80% because big blind is not calling correctly. And then we find this friggin' dude here calling the 8-9 offsuit, making me look like a bum. Jeez, now I'm back down to 66% instead of jamming 80%. Okay. I mean, they got pretty close to theory with that call. That's scary. Stop it. Wow, they got really close, man. I can't say with a certain level of confidence that I'm finding these calls versus players. 3 bigs here. I know I got to call a lot. This was 4 bigs. It's essentially the same thing. All our aces, all our kings, all of our... We're seeing a trend on these short stack calls, even in these ICM situations. All of our aces, all of our kings. Blind versus blind from the big blind. Suited queens. Of course, the pairs. Yeah, I feel this. Like the... oh my gosh. The stealth bomber. We got the halfway stealth bomber image for this calling range. This is, looks like this is coming up a bit with these shorter stack things. Or we could call this the super manta ray call range. And then we have our other manta ray, which is the strong broadways down to 8s. But now we could see this is the super manta ray. Okay. Wow, look at these guys. What's up, RIP Banana Man? GTO Lizard has a gambling addiction. Gosh, that seems true, man. That seems too true. Okay. Gosh, what a boss here. Hits the 9 on the turn. What a legend, Madrovi. What an absolute legend, man. Don't sit me at this guy's table. All right, let's go to our hands. Hands that make her dance. Queen Jack. Oh, are we the short stack? I think I folded, but I don't like it. Let's go in. Let's go in. Bracelet this summer isn't going to win itself. We're going to be folding here with this Queen Jack offsuit. 11, 12 bigs. Let's go, Tobias. Hey, look, if anybody who joins these study sessions wins a bracelet this summer, you got to let me know. Okay? I'll buy you some drinks. You're going to give me an answer here or not? Fold, no. Call. Oh, this is a sexy call. The lizard wants to do some limping here. Wow. GTO Lizard, you've done it again. I know a lot of us are not thinking about implementing a limping strategy in this spot. A lot of us aren't even really thinking about implementing a limping strategy at any outside of the small blind in too many spots. It does start sub 20 big blinds. But yeah, this is very... What does this strategy look like, man? What else do we want to limp here? Oh, this is so sexy. Selected line is rarely used in GTO. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, you are so sexy sometimes. Let me see here. ICM. Show me that limp. Where are we? The old HJ11. What's behind us? Let's look at this model. Okay, so fold here. And let's go fold here. Into HJ. Oh, okay. No, it's actually finding a limp here. Let me see. Fold. ICM 15. We have 11. Okay, so wait, where's our... Oh, it was a rare... Okay, so that's why they had that little notation. Gosh, I wanted to dig into this limping strategy more. Okay, so it likes the min raise. Okay, I messed with the min raise. And honestly, like I said, I had an instinct that folding was not great. I even like jamming more than folding, personally. But yeah, so what do we got? Some min raising. Okay, cool. So we know we're min raising a bunch of this stuff here. This offsuit ace, king, queen, jack. I like min raising more, man. Like, let's be in the streets. Let's have just that super confident around 10 big blind min raise fold strategy, like an absolute boss, right? What are we jamming? Ace king offsuit. So look, ace king suited, ace king offsuit jamming, min raising. Jam. Okay, so our strongest stuff we want to min raise. And then our suited side, we're just ripping in here from 12. So where is my error in how I've compartmentalized this? I thought it was, and we're the shortest stack. Too loose to jam. I actually think now at this point, since the shorties are gone, my range expands more. I think this is where I don't think I shifted gears from there are other shorties and I kind of have to play a little bit tighter in some spots to the shorties are gone, I'm the shorty. Now I need to go for the win. I think there was a misfire here that led to this fold, honestly. Thinking about the real-time game flow as well. You know, because you shift into a, once you get to the final table, I think is when it's easiest for us to most consciously shift into, okay, my strategy needs to change here. Generally speaking, it needs to tighten up a little bit. But I didn't shift out of this mode fast enough. That's what this feels like. Okay. Yeah, that's what this feels like here a bit. Okay, I know how to adjust this. Now let's look. We're playing all of our Broadway stuff. Except for the worst offsuit, Queen 10, Jack 10 offsuit. But then we're playing the other stuff, whether it's a min raise or an all-in. Okay. Okay, little bit of a misfire here, but we felt it as soon as we saw this hand. Look at Majovi's finding the min raise fold here. What a boss, Majovi. Teaching me a lesson. Even though in real time, I'm sure I felt better seeing this. After folding. Ah, min raise. Oh, cool. Jam. Nice. Good job, Drew. Yeah, I moved forward on the analysis here. Like up a couple seats. I don't think, let's see, players. Let's see here. Okay, let's put it in. It's actually 6. Are we ICM Classic Final Table 6? Okay, let's see here. Old Irish. Potentially another misfire by me here. I actually didn't notice this before because when it's not ICM, look at this. The seats are up here. So I thought it disappeared and we weren't able to select it. But ICM, it drops it down to here. Final table under here. 6. Okay. Let's see here. Old Irish. Yeah, because we're 6, right? Yeah, we are 6. Okay, good point. We are button cutoff. Hijack. We have 11. Do we have a model for that? Shows us 14. See, I want to see actually the cutoff here versus this. Oh, actually this. Hijack. See this model on 12 actually. Because then cutoff is 4. Yeah, this is actually closer to us. Okay, we are not first. They fold. Hijack cutoff button. Okay, yes. So still the strategy is similar to what we were just looking at. The range looks like it has not changed too much. Our offsuit jamming, suited, rip, raise folds. And the queen jack is still in there and we're still dumping this. 9x axis on the suited side. Ripping those, okay. Or getting rid of these down to 4s. Just ripping, not min raising these. 7s min raise, huh? Let me see this 7s. If this is gonna min raise fold. Yeah, this is min raising. This is part of a min raise fold here, these 7s. Even though they're gonna be tough to play post flop. What's up, Aces on River? How you doing? Outside of the small blind, I thought limping was bad, said Tobias. No, it's not. It's actually a very, very cool to have a limping strategy outside of the small blind. Limping on the button is another cool spot. And then sub 20 big blinds, you will start to see some limping as you get to middle position and late position in some situations. But I will say it is not a strategy a lot of people are implementing, but I think it's very cool to have a toolbox and have a playbook that does involve limping, because what I like the most about it is it creates situations that people aren't exposed to a lot. So they're going to be unsure how to respond. Though, versus players who limp, it is easier to know that, oh, you could just like raise, because a lot of the players who are having a limping strategy, it's usually very weak hands. So you can exploit that pretty well. But when you get into and play some more high rollers and whatnot, and some next level thinkers, limping strategies are very, very cool to study and think about and utilize outside of the small blind. Okay, let me see. Where are we now next? I like all that like random oddball stuff. Okay, we have, this looks like a very easy jam versus scoot. We're a short stack. Ace-10 offsuit in the big blind. They're in the cutoff opening. What am I doing? Was I not paying attention to anything? What am I doing here? Oh my gosh. Fold. Call. Oh, I remember this hand. Look at this. I take it away on the river. All right. So I think this is like... This is just pre-flop and easy jam. But now I'm remembering in real time what was going on. I guess I wasn't paying attention, didn't think they were being that aggressive. But had I looked at their stats, they're playing 20-16-10 over a 300 hand sample. Ah, I see what happened, potentially. Like, this is very reggy. They're just going to fold a bit. I'm looking at their, like, cutoff opening frequency and their button opening frequency. This is a final table, so it's a little different, but this is very, very glaring. This player is... It looks like, if I was analyzing this player's HUD stats and giving feedback, this looks like a player who does not raise in late position because they fear getting 3-bet and played back at, because it is very obvious when you raise in a late position that you should have a wider range. And so they actually tighten up, because look at this. This is 300 hands is notable, but this trend here is, it's really tough for it to fall like this. This player is for sure tightening up their range and not trying to get 3-bet jammed on, and they're passing on opening cutoff button. This is just way low. You're not going to see this a bunch. And in this example, they're opening cutoff, and it's their tightest spot that they open. So that's why I just called here. So I made a deviation from what looks like an easy jam based on this player's tendencies. But yeah, that's actually quite an obvious, like, late position thing that players will do because they fear getting played back at. But then, yeah, we just got cheeky here. I'm not defending ace-10, a hand that I know I could easily 3-bet shove, and then folding for 1 blind, even though I have 9 bigs. So my thoughts here are, I'm going to call. And then this turn is great. I'm going to call and decide. There are 7 bigs in the middle. How are we going to navigate this post flop? I have an above average confidence on this short stack. Probably too high, an overconfidence. But then this turn, hands I'm going to be just like check calling flop and defending. This turn just improves me, right? So they decide to make a check, which I think is a good check by them. And then the river comes a 6. And then now, how do I tell a good story? And if I had a 3 here or an 8 or a 2 pair, what's my bet sizing? And I went 2.8, so almost a third of the pot, maybe a little bit more. I think I probably even could have got away with this with a little bit smaller of a sizing. But how often am I going to be bluffing, or how often are players going to be bluffing 2.8 blinds, leaving 5 blinds behind in this final table situation? On this board run out, where I'm just going to have a lot of this after just defending on this stack. Like, I have a hand here when I just call pre-flop that I deem to be a little bit too strong to fold. And then I could connect with this. So I definitely thought I was going to get away with this on the river, and we did. But let's just show here that this is probably just like a rippity-dippity pre-flop. Easy rippity-dippity. What's up, Chess? How's it going? Wouldn't I bet more with a straight? Not if I wanted to get called. Chess. Not if I wanted to get called. So look, non-existent spot. Well, that's because you probably just want to jam it pre-flop, right? Not defending, exactly. Where are we? Yes, I understand. We're gonna shift this. Classic final table baby. Six-handed baby. And then we're big blind with not 16. We're big blind with the old tenor. Actually a niner. Let's see 11. Let's cut off 13. 12, 6, 10, 5. Isn't that distribution so weird there? 13, 15. I need shorter. I need shorter. 16. Nope. I need them to have more chips. 12, 6, 10, 5. Oh, that's kind of a weird arrangement. Okay, let's analyze from 8 and them having 14. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, cutoff raise. And then we are big blind. Yeah, ace 10 off, just easy call. We do have some sexy 4 big blind 3 bets in a similar situation like this. But I mean, are we really finding these? We could just be super nutted, I feel like, here. But yeah, just jamming the ace 10 off. And we do have some calls though. And these are hands that are like too strong to fold versus a min raise. But maybe not, we're not as confident jamming. So we do actually have a calling strategy on this stack depth. We could see it is the suited 9s down here. So we're folding a lot of the offsuit stuff. We're just not playing. I probably would have wanted to defend, honestly, like a 9-10 offsuit in this situation too. Jack 9, Queen 9, King 10. Okay, so the Broadway stuff, worse that we don't want to jam. The Jack 10 offsuit, just too strong. We got to call that. This offsuits. Okay, so we do have some offsuit ace X that we call. And then some of this suited stuff that is just like too pretty. We wouldn't be able to sleep at night if we fold the 7-8 suited, 6-7 suited versus this min raise. And see this, we do cover this board that ends up coming out a bunch with hands that we are not shoving pre-flop, but we are all over this board, right? Okay, so we do have a kind of a nice calling range in this spot, and we do connect with that board a lot. We are mostly, our strategy is mostly jamming these hands here. The orange, we got a nice Pasco arrow. Yeah, definitely a fair amount of calls, 100%. Very notable. One of the big ones, the most notable call here in this situation is the aces. You know, doing some protecting our calling range. Even though I also like to have kings here too. In the calling range, I'll be real. I'll definitely call some kings in the big blind in a lot of situations. Why is Queen 5 suited a pure call pretty much and Queen 6 not? Honestly, I don't have an answer for this, and some of this stuff is stupid and we have to just humanize it and not be robots about it. I'm calling the Queen 6 suited and Queen 5 suited, trying to compartmentalize and be like, oh, I'm gonna jam all my other offsuit aces, but I'm just gonna call my ace 6 offsuit. I'm going to call my other queen middling off suited, but I'm just not the Queen 6 suited. It's some sort of hate, some sort of AI computer generated GTO lizard hate against the number 6. I don't know where it is or what it comes from. Maybe there'll be a Netflix documentary that comes out some point and we find out why GTO lizard hates the number 6, but I don't have the answer yet. We'll figure it out one day maybe. Tobias wants to know, what do you think of limping on the button more than 50% or more? I like the idea of limping on the button sub 20 big blinds a lot. I don't know about 50%. It really depends on the stack sizes behind me. I would say if I'm ever limping, Tobias, the button, it is because I have a hand that I want to play, let's say a Jack 10 offsuit, Queen 9 offsuit, Ace 6 offsuit, but it's not a hand that I want to call a shove with. Do you see what I'm saying? Like if you have that Jack 10 offsuit, that Queen 9 offsuit, that Ace 6 offsuit, you kind of want to see a flop, but you don't want to min raise and then just fold. So I think when we limp a button, and I think this is a very powerful spot to limp in live poker because there's some psychology here where when we raise, we incentivize jams because there's more money in the middle. Whereas when we limp, now it is much easier for small blind or big blind to just throw in another half a blind or to just check in the big blind. There's not as much money put into the middle, so they're less incentivized to jam. So I like utilizing limps on the button with big hands too, especially if I think somebody will exploit my button limp and jam, or it's like a progressive knockout. I love limping big hands in the exact same situation. But if you're looking for some sort of guide or way to understand when to limp, hands you want to see flops with but not strong enough to call jams, you can start thinking about limping in those situations. That's how I do it. You dropped, your clout says 6 is the lowest card that doesn't make a wheel straight. So potentially that is why the lizard does not like the 6. That could be it for sure. King 10 offsuit, that's another one phony, yep. All right, so we get sexy here. We win the pot on the river, shaboy. King queen offsuit, rip it in. Rip it in, Drew. Don't you dare. I'm turning the stream off if I do not go all in here. We live to click another day. Okay. Yep, that makes sense too. So we're getting some more reasoning behind the hate on the 6. The worst one that doesn't make a straight. Why ace 5 suited is sexy town. 3-bet, 4-bet, 6-bet jam. Ace 3 suited. I know what I was doing here. You guys see this difference in my raise. It's unnecessary. I didn't need to go 2.6 here. I know what I was doing. I was trying to increase folding frequency. But then this player just jams. I don't need to do this. I remember in real time, there was some button that switched in my head. I was like, oh, okay, I kind of want to click it up here. Because actually, I didn't implement it up to this point, but I have seen instruction from elite level players who talk about when you enter into ICM situations, raising bigger is going to be part of a well-constructed strategy. And I like it. I haven't been playing this strategy up to this point. And I have heard the other side of the argument where if you are playing a lot of hands and you are at a table where you can get away with it, you have a bigger stack, you don't need to go to 2.6. But if you are a middling stack and you're not going to be playing overly aggressive by making it 2.6, you force players to have a bigger 3-bet, and it's going to disincentivize them from 3-betting you. So this is maybe complex, maybe not, but that's the thought here. But I don't like that I did it out of flow. This is like some mid strategy change. I didn't need to do it here. This wasn't a table of like people reacting. This is just like a table of people playing their cards. For the most part, so I'm not trying to take away from any of these other players. We've definitely seen some like min-raise folds and some other things going on that would indicate that these are educated, more regular players. So I just think this is way out of flow. This like 2.6 open here. Tilt happens. Welcome back. Thank you for the 2 months. I appreciate it. Fofoka, Ray, thank you for the follows along with Tokes. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, like I said, Chess, this is part of the 2.6 open is part of a good ICM strategy, but I was not implementing that strategy at this point. And I decided to start to pivot, and I didn't need to. I don't think it really needs to happen here. It doesn't need to happen here. So yeah, just misplaced, man. Okay, we got a fold, sexy town. 2-6 offsuit, no man's land. Remember we talked about this. So we just get rid of this. We don't need to run this and look at anything. It's just no man's land. That's even out of my 80% jamming range there. No man's land. Multi-way, 8-6 offsuit, pretty. No man's land, the offsuit, low stuff. Sigh. All right. The jam. Now, we've already studied this spot. We know this is a call, right? We saw this earlier. We fold here. This is an easy chippy V call. I made what I thought was an ICM fold here, but I'm pretty sure this is a blunder based on what we've already seen today. Let's put it in. All right, watch Drew blunder here. This is a blunder. This is a blunder. Tell me already, Lizard. See? 100% call. What was I thinking? Because this is an easy chippy V call. This is literally such a snap call. So I made some over adjustment for ICM. Do I have any reason to believe Mr. J-Bay is overly tight here? I don't. King 6 suited is the fold. My gosh, Banana Man. I know that now. Hate on the sixes. Not crazy sixes. I like him. But hate on the 6. Because it doesn't make straights. Gosh, this is just not part of a well-balanced diet. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Unbelievable, chat. Jeez. Get this guy a book. 6-handed. ICM. Oh my gosh. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed I folded here. Psych. That's what we're here to do. Learn, right? Golly, this is definitely just like this is a super easy call mid stages of a tournament, blind versus blind. Such let's see, kings. Yeah, we already established this a couple times. All the ace-x, all the suited king. Oh wait, hold on a second. Geez, get a grip, man. Type in the actual info. Okay, here we go. Small blind, big blind. Small blind all in, ladies and gentlemen. ICM final table, perfecto. We are big blind, confirmed. And yeah, we're calling all of our ace-x suited, king-x suited, queen-deuce suited. Ace-x offsuit, king-deuce offsuit, all of our pairs. We got the super stealth bomber, the super mana ray, 53% call. All right, you guys see the visual, right? Super stealth bomber, super mana ray, call. I don't know what I was thinking here. I can't even believe it. -1. Taking the referee here in the middle of the ring just deducted a point from the scorecards for me. Oh yeah, Rad Show. Let's just go with that. Misclick. I like that. Yeah. Oh, that's painful to watch. Oh my gosh, I'm deleting this VOD. I'm kidding. Not kidding. All right, here we go. Next one. What is this? I gotta. This one's interesting. You guys calling here? My first instinct in this moment outside of the game is to call. But look at this, just to give you the details, in case it's small on screen. 27 big blind stack, the chip leader jams, 8 blind stack, 7 blind stack, 7 blind stack, 10 blind stack. I love their jam. They could just jam whatever here. Honestly, I would jam, and if I was in their spot, I would jam until someone calls me. I got to call the ace-6 suited. I don't know, our stacks are all close. This feels a little bit more dodgy. Let's see what you guys think. Let's see what I did so we can make fun of me in a second. Oh, baby. Ooh, net. Okay, let's look at it though. Oh my gosh. This is an interesting one. This isn't like, we'll talk crap on Sunday Drew here more in a second. Let's put this in though first. Fold. Phony Halfling says fold, better to shove it. Call and tell big blind to fold. Let's see. Old Irish. This is ace-x suited. Ace-9 off is a call, and that's it. I don't know this, Drew. Chess says GTO hates 6. Oh, that's right. GTO Lizard hates the 6. Hates the number 6. Okay, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got here. Replay hand. And ay caramba. Oh, okay. It's all in, but it's showing the effective, the 11.38. I was like, why does it say 11? 100% call. Let's dig in. Let's look at what it is assuming they are jamming also. All right. Lizard. There we go. Okay. Hijack all in. We are in the big blind, 7 bigs. This is showing us Chippy V. Even Chippy V, this is, oh, well, this is an easy call, Chippy V. The question is ICM. So let's stop playing this game. No more foreplay. Let's get to the ICM. We are still 6-handed. Gosh, this feels like such a call, man. Especially based on what we've studied today. I'm so happy we're going over this. This is where the money's made, chat. This is where the money's made. Final tables. This is where the pressure's on. Okay, so 6-handed, correct. ICM, final table. And let's get a model. We are small blind with 7 bigs. Big blind has 8, 16 cutoff. This probably models fairly well, right? I want more short stacks here. This position 15, ICM 6. I think we're gonna roll with this one. Is there more shorts? 15, 15, 19, 6, 12. It's 7 bigs. Let's model. Yeah, let's see what this one shows us first. Hijack. All in. It still covers us. Players fold. For a small blind with like 5 blinds. Oh, so this is actually, this model is not perfect on this one. Jack fold. Hijack all in. Fold, fold. And we are small blind with 8 bigs. This model is showing 4.5. 4.5. We got to go to a model with like 9 or 10 bigs, I think, to get a better feel. It does have us folding in this one, but this feels at 4.5 blinds. This feels like it's going to be kind of inaccurate. Let's see. 10 in the small blind. This is going to feel more accurate to me. Okay. Let me just make sure we got our inputs correct. Hijack. All in 8, 9, big blind. We got 1, 2, 3 short stacks. 1, 2, 3, 4 short stacks. So even in this one, we're seeing another fold. So this is actually tighter here. Let me find another model. Hang on. Because we're looking for these. Let me just look at this model. We're not even finding this is hijack jam, yeah. Fold, fold, small blind. 11.5, they cover. So yeah, actually, so there must be an impact here as we're 6-handed. Pay jumps are bigger. Our strategy, okay, so I need to actually see what these other strategies are here, because this could be a product of we're now 6-handed, pay jumps are getting bigger. Because small blind, hijack jam. Because now 12 bigs in the small blind, it's getting a little bit wider. Well, this one we cover the hijack in this instance. What's up, Pistol Pete? How's it going? Hope the cash games are going well. I want to be covered here pretty much. ICM final table, hijack all in, small blind 13.5, tight. Okay, what I am gathering here, I know we all had less than those stacks here, Old Irish. I'm trying to find a model here that gets closest to our situation. And based on all these variations that I'm seeing, what I'm gathering here, this has got to be all in. What I'm gathering here is that our strategy is still, it's still got some looser calls. Fold all in, fold, fold. Small blind, yeah, but it's not actually going as wide as I thought, and I think this has to be a product of us being six-handed now. But yeah, I don't think we are six-handed. Yep, six-handed. Yeah, I'm not finding another model close to that. So I guess we don't actually need to hate on ourselves quite as much here. Yeah, looser for a shorter stacked. I would assume that as we do get shorter, we do see this start to stretch out more, but we're not even getting down to here. We're still seeing some relatively strong ace-x suited calls here. But yeah, as we get shorter, we're definitely like the example where we had like 4 blinds or 5 blinds. Even this scenario with some shorter stacks, 14, 16. We are the shortest here, and we could just like go. We're looking for a double. This 10 big blind stack is all in, and they still cover us in this scenario. This was probably the closest example that we have to what we're trying to model here. And it still has us right around the ace-8 suited calling off. ICM final table fold, hijack, call in, fold, small blind, yeah. And we are the shortest stack in this scenario. And we're still kind of calling, not tighter, but still folding small pairs, similar stacks to risk. So yeah, it's actually, I'm leaning back, and the way I'm going to compartmentalize this is there is a shift, it feels like. And ICM is really complex. I'm trying to draw conclusions here. But when we were looking at situations 7 and 8 handed in some different situations, it feels like when stacks are tighter, 6 handed, the money means even more now, because we've definitely seen some situations that were different, but we had 1, 2, 3 players bust now. What's up there, Lumen the Phoenix? Good to see you. Okay, so this wasn't as bad as we thought. 6-handed. So the way I'm going to put this in my mind is from 9-handed final table to 6-handed. I think we're going to see a shift, especially if stacks are going to be relatively close in our strategy. And we might start playing a little bit tighter when it comes to calling off versus shoving. And a couple of the examples where we saw some wider ranges that we were shoving and calling off, it was blind versus blind situations. So shoving versus calling off definitely is going to affect our strategy, of course, in non-blind versus blind situations. Okay, let's see some more. Let's dig in some more. That was an interesting one. 5s, 6 bigs, all in. Okay, we get it through. Ace-9 suited, we were in there. Ace-8 suited. What do you think about this one, everyone? There's a min raise, and now in flow and us being able to study and watch this, we've seen this player raise fold, and they're capable of raise folding. We've seen it enough. I like jam here, knowing that this player is capable of raise folding. But again, we do have a very similar and close 7, 7, 9, 7 blind stack. Do we want to get it all in here? What do you think? Let's see what the lizard has to think. Has to say. By the way, if you're enjoying this GTO study, exclamation point GTOW in the chat to download the wizard. Get a 10% discount to support the stream. So I would appreciate you using that link. But also, I will be doing more of these study streams leading up to the 2024 WSOP. So if you want to have one at your side that you can utilize and study and get better, now's kind of the time to do it. If you appreciate the way that I am approaching and studying and the way that the chat is interacting, this is kind of like a nice space to get to learn how to use this and to kind of dig into these analysis with us so that you can do it on your own. All right, so let me know if you have any questions, and let's see what this output is showing us. All in 100%. Okay, I don't know if I found it here in this spot. I don't remember, but I hope I did. All in. We will analyze in a segundo. Let's see what we did. Dear poker gods, please have Drew find this jam. What's going on? Where's my hand? Por favor, my hand. Okay, there we go. Come on, baby. Ah, we folded. Don't like it. Don't like it. I don't know what's going on here. It feels like an easy jam for sure. Let's dig in. Let me just actually see. Did I have some sort of like no. EP raise first is 28. This looks like another player who dodges raising in late position. They tighten up and they try to go with, there are players here, just so you know, if you look at HUD stats, there are players who try to exploit the fact that early position is supposed to be a tighter spot. They will open there and not raise as much in late position as they should. That said, I do know that we're shorthanded and they're not technically opening in early position. But when I said this the other day too, when we were studying, though this should be looked at technically, we start counting from the button, cutoff, hijack, low jack. The way I think that a lot of players are going to be processing this and looking at it, a lot of the population of players, not the elite players, okay? They're going to be looking at this as a first to act open or an early position open, though we count from the button. But with that said, I think the way that players will process and respond to it is as it being an early position and under the gun open. So I think that's kind of be a little bit more productive for us to study it. But keep that in mind. I do think that's important. So let's see. Where was I? Raised to a low jack. I am small blind. And yeah, this is just rippity dippity. So happy. Oh, that's Chippy V. We gotta switch this. Hang on a second. That's Chippy V. I forgot. We copy paste. We gotta shift this. Six-handed. And then short stack, small blind. Give me the 10. Give me the 10 or 11. Go 12. 14. Actually, this one gets, let me see, still even here. I'm focusing on this suited aces here. Low jack, raise, folds to us, small blind. And okay, there is some folding. We're mostly getting it in there. Let's change this. Focusing here. What I want to see is this suited aces. Okay, so we are, as we're six-handed, we are seeing our ranges tightening up a little bit. Ace-8 suited is in the rippity-dippity range. So it seems as if... Wahoo-san, welcome back. Thank you for the 23 months, brother. Good to see you. So some of this stuff gets real finicky. It almost feels like to study some of this really, really intricate short stack situations, we'd almost need to run Pio. Or we may continue to be looking at situations here where we're trying to get models close to. On 5 bigs, we just need to commit more when you have the ace-8 suited. We have about 9 bigs, and we're not finding an exact model to this situation. But to get some sort of calibration, small blind 10 bigs, it is close. It is close. So I think if we are gauging the situation, tight opponent, fold. Loose opponent who we think is going to fold a lot, get it in, is what I'm gathering here. So we don't have to lose sleep tonight over this, per se. What's up, Square Pizza? Heyo. How are you, buddy? How you been? Thank you for the 49 months. Mr. Man, good to see you in the chat. The old Square Pizza. Oh my gosh, Square Pizza. How you been? What is this? 10-5 off. 10-5 off. I've seen that before. Ace-5 offsuit. 8 bigs. Short, short, short. To not jam. We need to see this one. This has got to be... I think this is... Actually, this might be a fold. Let's see. We are still six-handed. My 8 bigs. Button cutoff. Hijack right here, right? So yeah, Ace-5 is definitely a fold. So we're still actually tighter here with these other shorter stacks behind us. Okay, so this isn't bad. This isn't bad here. But what is the bottom? Ace-8 off, Ace-9 off. We got to get it in. Okay. Excuse me. Skull Pirate, you should, buddy. Definitely use these plays against me and everyone else too. 100%. I hope everyone has a great summer, whether it's live or online. I think everybody can win. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys win. I hope you guys get a lot of value out of what's going on here. And this one, in my opinion, is easy. We saw this already. We know Ace Jack suited is just get it in. I don't think we need to beat a dead horse. But we did get rivered. And this is how we busted out of this tournament in 6th place. Pizza, we've been good. We've been good. What's up, Lazy XXX? We have been good. I guess let's just, since this is our bust out hand, let's just plug it into the lizard. Hello, Mr. Lizard. It's us again. So we upload, paste. We can click here to replay the hand. And yep. So 100% easy all in. Just pumping profits. Let's go here, button fold. And then here is us in the small blind. This is chip EV. This is super easy, get in with the Ace Jack suited. Let's get wiry though. 6-handed. MTT, ICM, final table, 6-handed. We've got 8 babies in the small blind. Right? 8 babies in the small blind. 7 babies in the SB. 7 babies in the SB. Look at this one. 9 babies. LJ with the raisy. Gets to us in the small baby. Ace Jack suited. Oh, they want to do some. This is assuming we have 8 blinds. They want to do some raising to 6. The GTO Lizard, you'd never cease to amaze me. They want to do some raising to 6. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to probably be sticking this one in. All right, so we're in there. It is tighter though. So this is one thing we're seeing even in these other examples. ICM final table, 6-handed with some relatively close stacks. So we are starting to kind of not be going as wide with the Ace X range on the rejamming stuff or even the open jamming. But yeah, Ace Jack suited is in there. Let me see. I mean, of course, we go all in. Gets back to low jack, and then they're calling King Queen suited. Yeah, of course. Calling Ace 10 suited, Ace Jack suited, 8 plus, Ace Jack off. What do we get to fold? We do get a bit of stuff to fold here if they're raising properly in this instance. We get the standard stealth bomber, standard manta ray, 8s plus, Ace Jack suited, Ace 10 suited, Ace Jack off. So that kind of range. Yeah, this is how it went down. Look at this. We're feeling gravy on the turn. Ace Jack suited versus King Queen suited, and they bust us out. They bust us out. How dare they? How dare they, man? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. That was a good session. What are your thoughts or questions? Does anybody have any thoughts or questions, things you want to talk about? Tomorrow is going to be a 6-table grind. I feel really good after looking at this. We need to do some more ICM study, some late game stuff. We haven't done this enough, and we definitely saw quite a few spots that were some different opportunities, some different things could have happened. We saw today in our studies a bit of suggestion for some sexy 4.5 blind 3-bets on some shorter stacks, even some like 10 big blind stacks, which was really, really cool. Blind versus blind situations, short stack versus short stack. We could even at final tables, we could really just exploit and jam a ton of hands from the small blind, even versus other short stacks. That's a big takeaway. And then also having to call quite wide in the big blind due to that. But again, we have to kind of adjust. We see our baseline. It can be quite wide in those short stack blind versus blind situations, but it's based off small blind jamming wide. We got to call wider in big blind. So we got to kind of take that into consideration and know our opponents. Missed a couple of rejams. But yeah, I think that is pretty much it. Again, if you enjoyed the stream, exclamation point GTOW in the chat if you want to download the lizard and start studying on your own. Figure out how to do things. This is our third WSOP prep session, and tomorrow we're going to do the 6-table grind. Wednesday we go to Vegas for a wedding, and we'll be back on Sunday to stream and play the final day of the Venom on ACR. There's still a lot of satellites running on the client to try to satellite into the biggest Venom yet. The 12.5 million guaranteed. It looks like first place is going to be 2 million. So for players who are not outside of the States, this is your biggest opportunity at massive, massive money, life-changing money. Top 3 places are going to pay out at least $1 million. So that is sick. $2,600 buy-in, but there's tons of satellites running on the client. Let me see. So Tilt Happens wants to know, what do I think about their thought process with this? What does it say? Spots like this, big stack opens under the gun. I think I can shove wider than what I should. Using big stack as insurance, I'm not getting the calls they want to and should make because ICM pressure on them with big stack open. And if big stack understands final table, he really doesn't want to bust or double me because my stack is allowing him to apply pressure to second and third biggest stack. Yes, I do think if you identify a big stack opponent opening from really any position and you identify them as an aggressive opponent at a final table and they seem capable and understand that they could be applying ICM pressure, yes, they are not going to be just raising and calling off super light because they can just continue to raise and apply pressure. And they will definitely know that the majority of players are not going to be applying pressure to them and their ranges are going to be tighter. So then they can just fold more and continue to just abuse. They don't need to take these marginal spots versus tighter ranges. So I do think that you can get away with stuff there a good bit of the time. But if you are not versus an opponent who's trying to exploit that situation and doesn't understand that, and their strategy is going to be very similar at a final table than to what it is in some other situations, and they might just be a card player, then you might get destroyed because they're just going to call like they normally would, and they might view that they have chips as an opportunity for them to just raise more and call more because they can afford to lose it. So there's a line to walk there, without a doubt. The broski, welcome back, buddy. I will see you soon, Mr. Man. 3 baker's dozens, 39 months. Thank you, buddy. See you soon. Can't wait to eat with you in 2 days. 2 days? 2 days? Yep. Tobias wants to know, what do you think you did best from today's study? What do I think I did best? Good question. Tobias, I think that as far as today's study, what I did best from the study, I think my rejam and my jamming ranges in some short stack situations is going to take a notable increase in the improvement. I think I leveled up quite a bit there in some spots that I was unsure because I hadn't studied those spots in a while. As far as my real-time play, things that I think that I did well, I think I exploited the final table bubble with some of the short stacks. But then once I got to the final table, I think I made some noticeable errors, and my calibration and my instincts weren't really where I want them to be. And I knew that after playing the final table last night. So I'm glad that we went in and studied it. And I think we need to just continue to pound those spots. Mikey Cash, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Old Irish, I'm glad you're enjoying these sessions. I've been enjoying them as well. But yeah, that is going to do it for us now. We are going to bounce. We are going to get ready for tomorrow. We'll do a couple things in the morning, and then we're going to get on the grind. I believe my plan is to be live at 3 o'clock. What did we go today? 5 o'clock? 3 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Eastern. I will be live 6 tabling, getting it in. So if you enjoyed the stream, please don't forget to hit the follow button on Twitch, the like and subscribe button on YouTube, and we're going to find somewhere cozy for you all to hang out. Let me see. Where is pretty? Let's go check out. My man's here. I see where we're going to go. All right. If you want to follow me on socials, everyone, whichever platform you frequent on, type in Bet on Drew. We do a lot of giveaways on Twitter. I post a lot of my behind the scenes, real life stuff on my Instagram story. My live poker hands and clips and reels are on YouTube and Instagram and my Facebook group. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the session today. Good vibes. God bless. Peace. We'll see you tomorrow.